Cincinnati Bengals and young Joe Montana of the 49ers. But rookies have been the big surprise for both teams. The 49ers start 3 of them in their secondary, and last week it was Carlton Williamson's turn to shine. He had 2 interceptions as San Francisco defeated the New York Giants to clinch the NFC West Division. For Cincinnati, Chris Collinsworth, their number 2 draft pick from Florida, has 51 catches on the season. And last week, he had 2 touchdown receptions against the Cleveland Browns. So today at Riverfront Stadium, the veterans and the rookies will do battle as the Bengals try to clinch an AFC playoff spot and the 49ers try for the home field advantage in NFC postseason play.
CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, the San Francisco 49ers against the Cincinnati Bengals.
It is sunny and cold, 34 degrees at Riverfront Stadium along the Ohio River in Cincinnati, and you're seeing 2 teams with 10-3 marks. The 49ers have clinched the NFC West Division title. The Cincinnati Bengals, 10-3 in the AFC Central, are trying to clinch their division and earn themselves a playoff spot today. Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Ryan with Fred Dreyer here in Cincinnati. A most exciting matchup of the AFC and the NFC. A return home for 49ers coach Bill Walsh, who was an assistant with the Bengals here for 8 years.
Tim, and when he developed a great quarterback in Ken Anderson. He's instilled with him a lot of properties that great quarterbacks today have. And some of those properties have, fortunately for him and the 49ers, have rub off onto Joe Montana.
They sure have. And, of course, this Bengals offense has been devastating the last 5 weeks. Today, of course, they are contending with a very strong defense from the NFC, and it's led by Fred Dean.
Well, what the Bengals want to do is control the ball on first down. That way they keep the nickel and Fred Dean off the field. But if they can't do that, when Fred does come into play, Anthony Munoz will be battling Fred Dean. And he has a specially made jersey that we'll talk about later on that gives all those defensive guys a tough time.
Okay, Fred, we're about set for the kickoff. And it's going to be the 49ers kicking it off. The Bengals will receive to our right. Ray Wersching will kick it off. Deep men will be Archie Griffin. David Verser, number 81, standing on the goal line. There is Wersching. 34 degrees, expected to get to a high of only 43, so it is brisk. However, there is not much of a wind. And it is an otherwise very pleasant day for football in Cincinnati. Nearly 60,000 strong watching their beloved Bengals, who are having some kind of a season. David Verser, the rookie from the 5. Verser with room up the sideline over the 40 to the 42-yard line before he's forced out of bounds. Amos Lawrence, number 20, was there, along with Wright, number 21. And so the Bengals will start with good field position from their own 42-yard line.
David Verser has an exceptional amount of speed. And what you want to do to start the game off is get a good return and give your offense good field position. He does that right here.
So Ken Anderson, having a brilliant season, brings out the Bengals in a slot formation left. And they send out Charles Alexander wide to the right. Anderson will throw on first down, complete to the tight end, Dan Ross, number 89, and a Bengal first down into San Francisco territory. They spot the ball at the 46-yard line. And offensively for the Bengals, Anderson with Alexander and Pete Johnson, the running backs. Chris Collinsworth, the sensational rookie at wide receiver with Isaac Curtis. Munoz, Lapham, Bush, Montoya, Wilson, and the tight end, Dan Ross. Ken Anderson, number 14 from tiny Augustana, Illinois College, in his 11th year in the NFL, and it is turning out to be his best ever. That ball is underthrown, intended for Collinsworth, and it will be 2nd and 10 in San Francisco territory. Defensively for the 49ers, their 3-man front, Stuckey, Reese, and Dwayne Board. Board playing hurt. A knee suffered last week against New York. Harper, Reynolds, Pookie, and Keena Turner are the linebackers. in this brilliant secondary. Lott, Wright, and Williamson, the rookies, with the aged veteran Dwight Hicks, who's all of 25 years of age, out of the University of Michigan. 2nd and 10, Bengals. Charles Alexander going straight ahead behind Bush and Montoya. Picked up about 3 yards on the gain. And we are informed we have just lost our picture temporarily, and we can see that we've lost it here in the booth as well. And there it is back for us. We hope you've got it back. 3rd down and 7. The ball is resting at the San Francisco 44-yard line. Out to the left comes Collinsworth. Out to the right, Isaacs. They're in the pro set, and now moving into the slot is the 3rd wide receiver, Steve Kreider. All kinds of action along the line. A flag is down as Anderson hits Kreider for another Bengal 1st down, depending on who the penalty is against. The ball now at the 27-yard line of San Francisco. The referee is Jerry Seaman, and consulting with his staff, will get the call here. Looked to me, Fred, like San Francisco might have jumped, but they could have been drawn over too. When the man moved up into the slot, that's when we got the action along the line.
Yeah, I think it was Fred Dean jumping off.
No, it's being charged against the Bengals. Illegal motion. Referee Jerry Seaman with the signal.
Offside, illegal motion, offense. Illegal motion, offense. Offside, defensive right tackle on the defense. Offsetting penalties.
All right, well, they called it both ways. Illegal motion against the offense, also offside against San Francisco. And David Burser has come into the game, number 81, replacing the tight end Dan Ross, so they have 3 wide receivers in on 3rd and 7. As that last game was wiped out. Slot formation left, receivers all over the field for Cincinnati. Intended for Curtis, intercepted by Ronnie Lott. Lott brings it back close to midfield, still going. And Lott finally tripped up at the Cincinnati 46-yard line. A flag down, but after the interception was made. Ronnie Lott picking off the pass intended for Isaac Curtis. And the sensational 49er rookie secondary continues to sparkle.
Tim, they're really going to have to contend a lot with the 49ers secondary. Ken Anderson told me before the game that they're really concerned about those guys because not only can they hit you, they're around the football all the time. And that's one of the great things that Ronnie Lott does. He's always around that football.
Well, there was a clipping penalty called on San Francisco following the interception, but they maintained possession.
Personal foul, clipping, number 74 offense during the return.
Clipping the call, and the ball will be spotted at the 34-yard line of the 49ers. And we have a timeout on the field, as we'll see that interception again.
Tim, this is just a simple little dink pass over here just to get the yardage. It was a great athletic ability. On his athletic ability alone, Ronnie Lott is some athlete, but he does a great thing right here. He keeps the ball in front of him, makes the catch, and then goes to the sideline where he can get the most help from his players.
We are scoreless with San Francisco in possession.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Where'd he go?
The view will
I think he's lost.
Must say something.
With Fred Dwyer as the 49ers take over the ball. Ricky Patton and Earl Cooper are the running backs to open their offensive series. Cooper trying the right side is bumped out of bounds by Louis Breeden after a gain of a couple of yards. Let's take a look at the 49ers offensively. Joe Montana, the quarterback. What a season he's having. Rated number 2 in the NFC. Patton and Cooper, the running backs. Dwight Clark, Mike Schumann getting the start for the injured Freddie Solomon. Another flag down on the play as we see the offensive line. Audick, Ayers, Quillen, Cross, and Fonhorst. And Charlie Young, who had a brilliant day last Sunday against the New York Giants. Freddie Solomon bruised a kidney in the game against New York. Was already hurt with knee and heel injuries, and he is sitting this one out. They hope to have him back next week. Infraction against the Bengals. Here's the call.
Holding number defense on 75 on the defense. First down.
Wilson Whitley called for defensive holding. San Francisco gets a free first down, and the ball is at their own 41-yard line. Slot formation left. Schumann 84, Clark 87, the wide receivers. Another flag is down. And Cooper digging for just a yard or two. We have had a play on each down thus far, except the first one.
I think they're just a little bit jumpy, Tim. You know, you come out in a game like this, 49ers got to get it going, and the Bengals, they're itchy. They're real itchy to get going, and I think guys are just trying to get warmed up.
The Bengals with a 2-game lead in the AFC Central. A victory here today would clinch at least a wild card spot for them.
Encroachment, number 67 defense. Still first down.
Gary Burley getting the start at left defensive end was offside. He is playing for the injured Eddie Edwards. Wilson, Whitley, Ross, Brown are along the front three with him. The linebackers Harris, LeClaire, Cameron, and Reggie Williams having an outstanding year. Breeden, Riley, Hicks, and Kemp are the secondary men. Johnny Davis has joined Ricky Patton for San Francisco. Play action for Clark, incomplete. He took a real good lick from Ken Riley, number 13, just as the ball arrived.
Tim, Ken Riley has been one of the mainstays for 13 years on this. Now watch what he does back here. He backpedals, keeps his eye on Clark, and then comes up. You see what he does here? Ken Riley broke as the quarterback looked his way and threw the ball. He was watching the quarterback. That's an old veteran for you.
Perfectly timed hit on Clark as Bill Walsh checks out the short list of plays to see what we do next. 2nd and 5. Give it to Ricky Patton. He is stopped by LeClaire and dropped behind the line of scrimmage for a loss. Jim LeClaire, number 55, blowing into the gap and hitting Patton just after he got the ball.
Jim LeClaire is one of your better defensive linebackers. He is an inside linebacker. He's the captain of that team. He calls the signals. He's got great leadership from him. And it's going to be very difficult for the 49ers today to move the ball on the ground.
It brings up 3rd down and 7 to go. For the 49ers at their own 45-yard line. We are scoreless in the first period. They've got 3 runners lined up in an old T formation. Now Schumann comes out in motion. Montana rolling. Complete to the tight end Young. He will be near the first down, but we'll wait and see where they spot the ball. Good pass by Montana. The old T formation to start that one off.
You know, I think today, seeing as it's going to be difficult to run, and I think the 49ers know it's going to be tough to run on them, what they're going to have to do is it's going to be Montana is improvising to his receivers today. Montana's at his best when he's running around back there improvising. He's very good at that.
It is a 49er first down. Charlie Young running the perfect route, had the necessary 7 yards, and so the 49ers keep going, and they have the ball now in Cincinnati territory at the Bengals 49. Schumann right, Clark left, pitch out to Cooper, and he gets away from Reggie Williams. Cooper upfield over the 45 of Cincinnati to the 44. Pickup of about 3 on the play, where Bo Harris ranged over from the left side to make the tackle. Reggie Williams nearly had him for another loss. Williams with 85 tackles, leading the Bengals in that department. What a season he's having. 7 sacks and 2 interceptions. That's not a bad year for a linebacker. It is 2nd down and a long 7 for the 49ers in Bengal territory. Schumann out to the right. Montana flips it up, wide open, Charlie Young. And he dropped the ball as he was hit at the 15-yard line. It is ruled incomplete. A perfect play to that point. Montana to the tight end Young, but another good lick on him by Louis Breeden, and he could not hold on to the ball.
Both secondaries on both teams are noted for their tenacity and their hitting. Kemp, the safety for the Bengals, and as well as Brian Hicks for the Bengals, are tough guys back there, and Charlie Young's going to see a lot of both of those guys today.
Good defensive play by Cincinnati brings up 3rd down for the 49ers. The nickel back is in. John Simmons, the rookie from SMU for the Bengals. In motion goes Schumann behind the ball. Great drop to Montana this time. lobs it out to Schumann. The pass complete, and he is close to first down yardage again. And once more, it will be determined by the placement of the ball on the tackle, Bo Harris, along with Louis Breeden.
Here you see right here, this is the eye view that Joe Montana sees, a burly 67 here. He coming in having a good pass rush, but all Joe wants to do is get away from the rush and get the ball underneath the defense to one of his receivers. And here he does it to Schumann, who gets the first down for him.
Well, they're going to measure it for the first down, Fred. It was close, and it appears that he has it, but will require another measurement to make sure.
That's why they have those sticks up there, don't they?
Right.
He didn't get it.
Well, he's short. About a foot, the length of the football, we'll call it. The ball is at the 39-yard line, just inside the 39 of Cincinnati. And there is no hesitation on the part of Bill Walsh. He's going for it. Johnny Davis has come in, number 38 at fullback.
You know, Tim, what's interesting here is it's early in the game and the 49ers already clinched their division. They're going to make it very difficult for the Bengals to clinch their division. I like the attitude that they have on offense.
Yes, indeed. Much speculation about how Bill Walsh would approach this game. Would Guy Benjamin play at quarterback? Would he rest some of the injured players? So far, he's playing offensive winning type football, and Davis appears to have gained the first down yardage. The crowd here responding to the good defensive stop, but it looks from here as though Davis has the first down. Pile up of Bengal players. At the bottom, the last man up is Gary Burley, and gets credit for the tackle on the play, but it is a 49er first down. Eason Ramson, who was in on the double tight for the short yardage play, goes out of the lineup. Then back in, Clark with Schumann, the wide receivers. Davis stays in. Amos Lawrence has joined him at running back number 20. First down, 49ers. Montana, lots of time. He's got Young open. Charlie Young inside the 30 of Cincinnati. Pickup of 9 yards on the play. Ken Riley on the tackle for the Bengals.
Charlie Young is going to have a big day because what they're doing is they're taking their receivers here. Montana's dropping back. He's waiting for the receivers, his own receivers, to clear out underneath for Charlie Young to come across. And what they're doing is putting a matchup, Charlie Young underneath on a linebacker. And with Charlie's height at 6'5", there's quite a bit of a difference.
You can see Glenn Cameron, number 50, the inside linebacker, trying to make the touch. It is second and a yard. They give it to Amos Lawrence. Lawrence is hit right at the 25-yard line, and that will be another first down for San Francisco. Bobby Kemp, the rookie from California at Fullerton, knocked him out of bounds.
Kemp may be their toughest tackler back there. He's a rookie, and he came in knowing he was kind of a long shot to make the team, but he knew that when he came into the Bengals secondary, he was going to have to excel at something, and I'll tell you, he is a tough tackler. And the receivers and everybody who carries the ball is going to have to face Bobby Kemp today.
Kemp, the 8th pick of the Bengals this year, and a very pleasant surprise. Ricky Patton back into the lineup. Running back, running Davis in the wide throw set. They give it to Patton. He is tripped up underneath by Wilson Whitley, number 75, who dove in under the block of the center, Fred Quillen, and did a good job. Gain of the yard on the play will bring up second and 9. We have seen quite a variety of offense from Bill Walsh in this opening series by the 49ers. We expect to see the same kind of varied offense from the Bengals when they get the ball again. This is going to be a really interesting game tactically.
You're right, Tim. And Bill Walsh here, what he wants to do is he wants to out-hit the Bengals, and he wants to execute, and he wants to hog the ball.
He is using up the clock at this point. Second and 9. Montana deep for Patton, almost intercepted. The ball was overthrown, and it was number 27, Brian Hicks, the second-year man from McNeese State, who had a shot at the interception.
Here's what happens here. He throws the ball right down the middle of the field. It's a gamble type of pass. If you're going to throw the ball down the middle with your coverage so tight here, you better get the ball in there quick. That was kind of a gamble by Joe, but fortunately they didn't intercept the ball.
We have seen him throw it on a rope, and we've seen him loft it today in various circumstances, and Fred, I think you're right there. That was a place where maybe he should have a little more zing on it. Third down and 9. The nickel back is in. The 4 down linemen are in. St. Clair joining the Bengals defensively. Montana complete to Clark. Clark at the 5, and he's tripped up there by Hicks at the 4-yard line. And Montana delivers again another 49er first down. Now San Francisco on the doorstep.
Montana does an excellent job of feeling where he is. Now watch the rush come from his left. See right there? 79 comes barreling around there. Ross Browner comes in there, and he has a great feel of when to step up. He knows where he is, and more importantly, he knows who's around him.
The Rams are in front of the Giants 7-0 in the first period of their game at New York. And first down, it is Lawrence, and a good defensive play by Lewis Breeden, and Jim LeClaire dropping him for no gain right along the line of scrimmage. 2nd and goal.
Here's the handoff here to Bill Ring. Now, he's been used mostly in this +20 territory down here, and he's a tough runner. He gets the hard yards for you. But right here, you're going to have a tough day getting by Jim LeClaire. This is a very, very good run defense.
Fred, thank you for the correction. Bill Ring, number 30, not Lawrence, number 20, and they used Ring in close last week against the Giants. Montana rolling, Ring wide open, touchdown. Bill Ring. Nobody picked him up out of the backfield, and Montana just lobbed it to him in the corner of the end zone. And the 49ers have gone in front. Bill Ring, the first-year man from Brigham Young, picked up as a free agent last year when he was cut by the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is from Belmont on the San Francisco Peninsula.
Here it is from a ground level now. Great shot here, as you can see, where Joe knows where the ball's going to go from after he got the snap count. This is the primary receiver here, and he goes out uncontested.
So Bill Ring, who figured heavily in the drive last week that led to Wershing's field goal, gets a touchdown early in this football game. Ray Wershing has the point after. And we have 7:01 remaining in the first quarter as we see this play again.
Montana looks and throws the ball here to Ring. Now, this play here, it was a mistake as far as coverage goes on the Bengals' part. You got to cover that guy. Anybody that goes in motion down there, you got to move with them in order to cover a guy like that.
And with Fred Dreyer at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, where the 49ers used up 6:04 on the clock following the interception by Ronnie Lott, going the distance for the score by Bill Ring, and they have a 7-0 lead. Montana was 5 for 8 on that drive, 46 yards and a touchdown. Wershing will kick it off. David Verser from the 10. Verser, another pretty good return over the 30 to the 33-yard line. Verser coming into this game with an average of 24.2 yards a kickoff return. That one was good for 22. New Orleans in front of St. Louis 3-0 in the first period of their game. Washington out in front of the Eagles 6-0. They missed the extra point. A touchdown by Joe Washington, and the Rams leading the Giants 7-0 in the first period. Now the Bengals bring it out. First down here as they trail 7-0. Charles Alexander goes wide to the left. Pitch shot to big Pete Johnson. Johnson off left tackle, had a good hole and blasts his way for a first down. Hard running by Pete Johnson. Johnson came into the game with 876 yards rushing. Dwight Hicks made the hit.
One thing you don't want to do is allow this man at 250 some odd pounds here to get his shoulders turned right there. He starts going up the field. He's 250 some odd pounds, folks. You don't want to meet him head on. If it snows out here, he was so big they were going to put chains on him.
Pete Johnson, what a year he's having. 16 touchdowns he scored. That's second in the American Conference. First down for the Bengals on the move at their own 42-yard line. Again it's Johnson, again a big hole. It's closed down by the linebackers, but he picked up about 3, maybe 4 on the play. Running behind Lapham and Munoz. Tina Turner, the linebacker, made the hit. You know, Kenny Anderson, who hasn't yet thrown a pass on this drive, went 86 throws without an interception until Ronnie Lott picked that one off. He has only 7 interceptions on the season. That's remarkable.
You know, Tim, a lot's been said about the influence of Bill Walsh, but Paul Brown has had a lot to do with Kenny Anderson.
It is 2nd and 6 for the Bengals. Slot formation left. In motion, Alexander. Anderson to throw. Quick out to the tight end, Ross. Complete, and he has the first down. Dragging the defender, Carlton Williamson with him. And the Bengals on the move again. The ball will be spotted at the 44-yard line. No, now right on the 45 of San Francisco.
Tim, the Browns really like Dan Ross. They really think he's a great player. He's tough. He runs good patterns. He has good hands. He's not going to really be a deep threat for you, but the guy is big and strong and very reliable. You'll see a lot of him today.
58 receptions. With that one, he has become the club record holder for receptions in the season. Play action. Anderson rolling. He's got lots of room to run, and he does. Anderson with another first down and gets out of bounds without taking a hit. To the 34-yard line of the 49ers, Kenny Anderson. Let's return to our studios in New York for an NFL Today report and Brent Musburger.
Tim and Fred, the Eagles are in a dogfight. Jaworski fumbled. Joe Washington took it in from 6 yards out. Mosley blew the extra point. The Eagles now are on the drive. Let's go back to Cincinnati and Tim.
All right, back here in Cincinnati at Riverfront Stadium at the 34-yard line of San Francisco. The Bengals are on the move. Anderson, quick clear pass out to Collinsworth. Complete for a gain of about 6 yards to the 29 of the 49ers. On the coverage over there was Dwight Hicks, number 22, and the cornerback, number 42, Ronnie Lott. 2nd and 4 for the Bengals, and we have seen some offensive football, and these are two outstanding defensive teams.
Yeah, Tim, you really have, and you're going to see an awful lot of everybody on both teams. Both teams have one philosophy. Everybody is capable of scoring touchdowns. Get everybody the football.
That's kind of like the touch football games in the park, isn't it? Everybody out. 2nd and 4.5 we're calling here. The pitch out to Pete Johnson. Johnson cuts it back and rolls over people for a first down to the 18. Pete Johnson. Dwight Hicks finally stopped him with help from Craig Pookie. And the 5-year man from Ohio State at 105 yards last week against Cleveland. He's off to a good start here. First down, Bengals at the 18-yard line of San Francisco. The 49ers lead it 7-0. Now a pass from Montana to Bill Ring from the 4-yard line in the last offensive series for San Francisco. Hot formation left again for the Bengals. In motion, Alexander. Long count that time by Anderson. Drills the ball complete to the tight end, Ross. And that will be, again, very close to the first down. Jack Reynolds, number 64, the linebacker, and Williamson, 27, the safety on the coverage. And it is a Bengal first down. It brings up 1st and goal from the 8.
Watch Ken Anderson here. He plants and gets rid of the ball. That's what you want to do down here. Plant, look where you have to throw it, and get it there as quick as you can because the area down here is very, very small, and there's a lot of people in a small area. You got to get the ball in there quick, and Kenny did it.
Double tight end offense now. M.L. Harris, number 83, joining Ross at tight end. One running back, this Pete Johnson. 1st and goal. Johnson tripped up behind the line as the 49ers tighten it up. Wait and see who that man is. Getting up, it was number 65, and that is Lawrence Pillars, the 6-year man from Arizona State, with a big defensive play. A loss of about a half a yard. 2nd down and goal for Cincinnati. Harris comes out. Alexander goes back in for the Bengals. Shadows already across most of Riverfront Stadium. But it is a beautiful afternoon for football. A little on the chilly side, but dry and sunny. Slot formation left. 2nd and goal. Anderson has Ross open, and it's complete, but not much of a gain, if any. Carlton Williamson, the fine rookie from Pittsburgh, made the hit.
You know, the impressive thing about Carlton Williams, as well as all the San Francisco secondary, is they're very bright people. And you got to be bright to play professional football, and it shows up when you come down here inside the 20 because coverages and pass patterns change very, very fast. He's a rookie, and he's very, very good.
A gain of just 3 yards on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and goal from the 6. Harris back in at tight end. One running back once more in a slot formation right. Anderson, lots of time. And it's batted away and maybe picked off. Yes, it is. The ball loose now, but it is ruled an interception and San Francisco ball. Now we'll just check and see who came up with it. It looked like Pillars might have been the man who grabbed it. Hopefully on the replay we'll have a better look. It appeared to be Pillars who batted the ball down. We'll see who came up with it, but the 49ers with a big defensive play. Here it is again, Fred.
Here it is. Kenny's looking. He's turned to his right. He's looking for anybody right now. Scrambles just to get open. He could have probably run it in, but decided to throw it. What a great play. Number 58. That's Keena Turner.
Keena Turner, the linebacker.
What a great, great athletic play. That's one of Jack Reynolds' disciples right there.
All right, so the 49ers have stopped the Bengals drive, and they have it at the 10. Tim Ryan and Fred Dreyer. Let's see that one again, Fred.
Keep your eyes peeled for the right-hand side of your screen for Keena Turner coming up right there. Right there. Now, there is what's known as a hand-eye coordinated athlete. He could be a great basketball player. I'll tell you something. At 6'2", 219 pounds, this fellow right here can flat play linebacker.
He's a terrific athlete. I came down the elevator of the hotel with members of his family, and they said, give Keena a lot of play today on the telecast. They said he'll have to do that himself. Well, he did. First down, 49ers. And the Bengals rise up to stop Cooper right at the line of scrimmage. Just check on that offensive lineup for the 49ers. We get a lot of substitutions in there, and that was Davis. So it is Davis and Patton coming out to start this series at running back for the 49ers. And the ball still at the 10-yard line. Good work in the middle of that defensive front for the Cincinnati Bengals. Whitley and Browner. The linebackers LeClaire and Cameron all jamming it up. Second down, this is Patton. Patton is hit behind the line of scrimmage. And an inspired Cincinnati defense on the rise. Glenn Cameron, number 50, blowing in. Right behind him, Reggie Williams. And 2 good defensive plays by Cincinnati as the 49ers have a 3rd and 10 still at their 10-yard line. Eason Ramson comes in. Charlie Young goes out for the 49ers. 3rd down. Patton and Davis still the running back. Slot formation left for the 49ers. Montana standing right at his goal line. Intended out the left side for Ramson, incomplete. On the coverage, number 25, John Simmons. So the crowd here at Riverfront gives their defense a standing ovation. And boy, did they shut them down on 3 consecutive downs.
Yeah, they sure did, and that's something they've been doing to everybody all year, so it's not really a big surprise. And the fans here in Cincinnati, there's only 2 really professional teams in Cincinnati, the baseball team, the Reds, and the Bengals. This is no longer a baseball town.
And so, punting from the end zone will be Miller. Gets it away right from the goal line. Fuller in San Francisco territory. Flags everywhere as he's pulled down by number 28, Lynn Thomas. At about the 46-yard line of the 49ers, a 39-yard punt for Miller, but let's see what the flags are about. First 49er punt of the afternoon. The Bengals had 2 offensive possessions, and they were stopped by interceptions each time. Call is apparently against Cincinnati. And it's being marked off by the referee, Jerry Seaman.
Illegal block above the waist, number 26 on the receiving team during the return. First.
Penalty against the Bengals will back them up to their own 43-yard line, and we'll return to Riverfront Stadium in just a moment. Just 3 seconds remaining in this first period with the 49ers leading 7-0.
The Bengal defense has been a very, very big part of the Bengals' success this year. One of them is Hank Bulla, the coordinator and linebacker coach, down here telling his troops how to go. They're anxious to get back onto the field.
The third offensive series for the Bengals. The first two ended in interceptions, raising Anderson's total to only 8 on the season. And he completes his first down pass here to Ross. He's close to the first down once more. That will bring up the end of the first quarter here at Riverfront. At the end of this first period of play, the San Francisco 49ers 7, the Cincinnati Bengals nothing. We'll return to Cincinnati in a moment.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way. And by Lowenbrau. When it's time for the taste of a truly great beer, let it be Lowenbrau.
Tim Ryan and Fred Dreyer back at Cincinnati's Riverfront Stadium. We're about to begin the second period of play here with the 49ers leading 7-0. Elsewhere, Detroit in front of Green Bay, a very important game involving the Wild Cards. 3-0 in the second period. St. Louis, Neil Lomax has scored from 22 yards out to take the lead over New Orleans 7-3. And New England in front of Miami 7-0 in the first period. All right, the Bengals. Pete Johnson straight ahead. Picked up about 3 yards. And look at this. The Eagles have come back against Washington 7-6 in the second period. Next week, those Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys will be a very big one here on CBS. 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central, 12:30 Pacific time. Our doubleheader game next Sunday on CBS. A showdown in the NFC East between the Eagles and the Cowboys. 2nd and 8 for the Bengals. Alexander and Johnson, the running back. Curtis to the right. Collinsworth to the left. Anderson has time, and it is incomplete. Intended for Ross, who appeared to lose his balance just as he was reaching for the reception. Ronnie Lott on the coverage. And now for an NFL Today report, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Tim, here's the touchdown you just talked about for the Eagles. From the shotgun, Jaworski will have Campfield, and he just does break the plane of that goal line before he coughs it up. Franklin's extra point has them ahead. Back to Tim Ryan.
All right, back in Cincinnati, Steve Kreider has come in to give the Bengals 3 wide receivers. A flag down as Anderson forced from the pocket, runs it upfield, where he is hit by a pair of 49ers. And flags are down on the far side of the field. Lawrence Pillar's in on the hit, and he is getting up slowly. Keena Turner also there on the tackle. At officials' conference.
You know, that's an interesting play. Now, Kenny Anderson is very capable of doing that type of thing. However, it's a two-edged sword. He can burn you with it defensively, but also he can pay the price by taking a lot of unnecessary hits, and you don't want to lose him at this point in time of the season.
Apparently the infraction, Fred, against the Bengals. We'll get it here from referee Jerry Seaman momentarily. Anderson came into the game having carried the ball 32
Illegal
times.
formation, number 78 on the offense, not on the line of scrimmage.
Anthony Munoz, the second-year man from USC, who has just been outstanding this season, was not lined up properly. Was not on the line of scrimmage, and the call is against the Bengals for 5 yards. Third down and 13. Bengals picking up 4 penalties now for 25 yards. Out to the right comes Kreider. 3 wide receivers again. Slot left. Anderson with lots of time hits the tight end Ross. He dropped the ball just as he was popped by the linebacker Bobby Leopold, number 52, who put a good hit on him, and Ross could not hold on.
The 49ers have got to really be happy with their play. Here it is. Kenny looks around, waits for the secondary to set their defenses, and goes into Ross. Now, he has a tough time holding on to it, but look at the defensive play here by Leopold. This is the type of thing, you know, you have a defense, you want to keep sharp. They're really kind of like got their division wrapped up. They don't really necessarily have to play that tough. They could rest some people, but they're not. They're playing good defensive football.
McAnally is in to punt for the Bengals, standing at his 36. The deep man is White Hicks, number 22. And he just got it away against a good rush from Milt McCall. But it's a tremendous punt by McAnally, going out of bounds inside the 5 of the 49ers. A 46-yard punt to the corner by Pat McAnally, doing his job. And the 49ers will start from a hole, leading 7-0 early in the second period. Tim Ryan with Fred Dreyer. We're back here in Cincinnati, where McAnally just did the job.
You know, there's one thing about kickers. They can be very selfish. He could have kicked the ball into the end zone to get more yards, but he sacrificed yards for ball placement. These type of guys, you have to have these type of people to win. He's a heck of a guy and a good athlete, and I think kicking like that, he couldn't help but win that NFC or AFC kicking championship.
Good athlete, too. He's also one of their reserve receivers. So the 49ers start from their own 3-yard line. And blasting out over right tackle Ricky Patton, picked up about 3 yards on the play. They'll mark it out at the 7-yard line, so maybe it's about a 4-yard gain for Patton, running behind Randy Cross and Keith Bonhorst. 2nd and 6 for the 49ers. Across the front for the Bengals, it is Burley, Whitley, and Browner. Linebackers Harris, LeClaire, Cameron, and Williams trying to pin him in. Wide left comes Schumann. Johnny Davis behind the right guard Cross, and the center Quillen met by the middle of that Cincinnati defensive front. Whitley, LeClaire taking the contact. Bill Walsh sending in the play here on 3rd down and 4. Eason Ramson comes in along with Earl Cooper, and Cooper delivers the play to Joe Montana. 3rd down, a long 4 for the 49ers at their own 10-yard line. They lead 7-0 on a Montana pass to Bill Ring. Straight drop. Montana to Cooper. Cooper is forced out, and it is a 49er first down as he's forced out of bounds at the 15-yard line. And the 49ers have moved it up out of their own end.
What they've done here is take both halfbacks out to the same side of the field, which screws up the coverage if you're a linebacker. And what they do is they wait till the first guy clears and hit the second back coming out of the backfield, which was Cooper, to get the first down.
Bo Harris, the man to make the tackle, but the 49ers have a little more breathing room. Play action, complete to Clark. Clark spins away from one tackler and gets close to the 34-yard line. White Clark is pulled down there by Brian Hicks after LeClaire made the initial hit.
What you'd like to see here is a good play action pass. What you see right there is, excuse me, but what you want to do is you want to run just enough on the Bengals to get them to respect your run, so your play action passes work to guys like Dwight Clark. He did a good job of going to the open area to get the ball.
Third-year man from Clemson, 73 catches on the season. Coming into the game, Ricky Patton has good running room out the right side. Ricky Patton over the 40-yard line of San Francisco as they have marched it out from deep in their own territory. Gary Burley tripped him up, and Jim LeClaire, the man to hold him down. Gain for Patton of close to 9 yards. Let's call it an 8-yard pickup. New England in front of Miami, 7-0 in the second period. In other important AFC action, the Rams continue to lead the Giants 7-0. As we get a good look at those magnificent Bengal mascots along the sideline. Here's Johnny Davis. Davis blasts his way out the right side for another 49er first down to midfield.
I'm really impressed by the way the 49ers have approached the game. They're getting everything done that they want to do. They're hogging the football, and they're even having some success running the ball. The Bengals have got to start playing tougher defense and doing something with the ball once they get it.
There's Bill Walsh, who has certainly had an offense prepared for this football game. The way the 49ers have moved it, they now have first down at midfield. That last reception by Clark, by the way, put him over 1,000 yards receiving. Cooper is in, number 49 at running back, play action Montana. And he is sacked by Reggie Williams, number 8 on the season for number 57, who is having some kind of year for Cincinnati. A big defensive play as the 49ers had their own way on this drive, using up time and mileage.
Joe has a little play-action pass here. What happened was the pass blocking just broke down before the pass patterns developed. That was all.
Ricky Patton was back in to block, but looked like Reggie Williams, the 6-year man from Dartmouth, beat him to bring up second and 19 for the 49ers. Ball back at their 41. Montana has the time. He finds Charlie Young open. Young tripped over his own man as he cut it back inside. Tough break for Charlie Young. He tripped over his own man. That was Ricky Patton, who was trying to help out blocking as they had to improvise that pattern. He picked up about 7 yards. It'll be 3rd and 12.
What Joe's doing here, you see him scrambling around looking, and he goes to Charlie Young underneath the defense here, and Charlie can't go up the field because he sees Ken Riley, so he cuts back underneath and unfortunately trips and falls.
So the ball is at the San Francisco 48. A big defensive down for the Bengals here. 3rd down and 12. Wide left is Clark. Wide right is Schumann. Montana for Charlie Young, complete. Another outstanding catch by Young as he took another big hit from Louis Breeden, but he got the first down. And reminiscent of just a week ago when Young came up with 2 sparklers against the Giants.
You know, Charlie Young has such great hands. But Joe once again scrambles out and gets the ball to Charlie. He takes a hit right there. Now, he didn't land on the turf, which is very, very hard, but he takes a shot when he catches the ball.
There was a flag down on the play, however, Fred, and it is going to be against the 49ers. So the Bengals get a break there as Charlie Young came up with another outstanding catch. Despite the hard hit from Breeden, had the first down yardage, but they're backed up to the 38.
Ineligible downfield, number 51 on the offense. 3rd down.
Randy Cross ruled an ineligible receiver downfield.
What happens on plays like that is linemen, if the ball isn't thrown soon enough, linemen lose perspective of where the quarterback is, and so they have a tendency to drift downfield.
Ray Griffin has come into the secondary for Cincinnati on this obvious passing down. Montana screen pass to Cooper, quickly broke up the blocking, and that enabled 5 Bengals to hold it to no gain at all. Another big defensive play for Cincinnati. So the 49ers will have to punt, and credit Whitley for putting the pressure on and breaking up that blocking in front of Cooper. Miller will come in to punt for the 49ers. And it'll be Mike Fuller, the deep man for the Bengals, standing at his own 23-yard line. A high snap, a good catch by Miller, and the barefooted punter gets it away. Fair catch signaled by Fuller at the 26-yard line of Cincinnati. Near disaster there for the 49ers, averted by the good catch by the punter Miller. We'll return to Cincinnati in just a moment. Tim Ryan with Fred Dreyer in Cincinnati. We have 7:55 remaining in the first half. The 49ers lead at 7-0. The Bengals have the ball following a 38-yard punt by Miller, and the Bengals defense did the job. Now Johnson and Alexander, the setback, as Ken Anderson will try to get the Bengals down the field. Deep pass for Curtis. It is incomplete. It hit Ronnie Lott on the hip. Lott, number 42 on the coverage. The ball underthrown by Anderson. Going deep on first down. 2nd and 10 from the 26 of Cincinnati.
You're right, Tim, about that ball being underthrown. Ken Anderson wants to go deep today. He thinks he can do it. He's got the receivers to do it, of course. But they're not going to alter their game plan because of anything the 49ers do. But one thing that they're going to have to contend with is the great coverage that Ronnie Lott provides out there cornerback for the 49ers. He was in great position that time.
2 quick scores. Detroit in front of Green Bay 10-0. And St. Louis leading New Orleans 14-3 in the second period. 3 wide receivers are in, and they're all stacked on one side for Cincinnati. Anderson trying to get it to Kreider, incomplete. Double coverage on him. Hicks and number 28, Lynn Thomas, playing the nickel back again this afternoon for San Francisco.
Here you'll have 3 wideouts to the right. 2 of them go inside, and 1 of them goes in short. Now watch Kreider, 86 here. He's having a great year, and what he does is, after he takes a shot, what he does is he comes in for a halfback and lines. The halfback comes out of the field, and he'll come in and line up anywhere in the backfield. And that time he came out far out to the right-hand side.
It is third down. Bengals 0-3, converting third downs thus far. Slot formation left. 3 wide receivers again. Anderson out to Johnson out of the backfield. Ronnie Lott meets him at the 30-yard line. And the Bengals will have to punt after a gain of only 5. Ronnie Lott picking up Johnson out of the backfield as well. Another flag down, however. We have had a bunch of penalty flags in this first half. And it is offside against San Francisco. So Cincinnati gets a break because the 49ers had forced a punting situation.
Tim, what you might see is Anderson calling irregular or erratic snap counts. You got 2 good pass rushers in Fred Dean and Pillars for the 49ers, and what you want to do is you don't want to let your defensive lineman get a bead on you as far as when the ball's going to be snapped. So what you try to do is give erratic snap counts, and I think that time it worked.
Offside, defensive right tackle.
Well, the defensive right tackle on the last play was probably John Hardy, the rookie from Iowa, is getting some time in there now. Along the front, Fred Dean is lined up at right defensive end. Keith Cougar was hurt last week in the final play of the game against the Giants. Has gone on injured reserve. It is 3rd and 5 for the Bengals. Anderson runs out of time, but eludes Fred Dean. Anderson has run for the first down and slides in to the 46-yard line. Make it the 44 of Cincinnati, but good running by Ken Anderson has a first down.
These type of things really can break your back if you're a defensive lineman. Fred Dean almost gets a sack. Right here, you'll see him coming at the top of your screen. He gets by Munoz, but what happens is they lose containment, and Fred doesn't make the tackle. He allows the guy to scramble and get a first down. So instead of a sack and having to punt, you got a first down now.
What do defensive ends say to themselves when they miss that sack?
It's not what they say themselves, what everybody else says to them.
Ryder is out of Johnson and Alexander back in the 2 running backs here on 1st and 10 for the Bengals. Big hole for Alexander. Alexander all the way to the San Francisco 40-yard line, where he is hauled down from behind by Williamson. Make it to Eric Wright, number 21, who made the tackle.
You'll see the big hole that opens up here for Alexander. Now, one thing about Alexander, he'd like to run the ball 20 or 30 times because he'd like to have the glory of doing this a lot. But what happens here is you got a guy who can catch the ball as well as run, which is obvious here. He's very unselfish. He fits into their offense very, very well. He'll do anything he can to get the ball.
Eric Wright and Whitehook trying to stop him, but the Bengals with a big gainer, 16 yards to the San Francisco 40. Anderson wants to throw, and he is dropped after a pickup of about 4 yards, forced out of the pocket by number 79, Jim Stuckey. And then back to get him, Craig Pookie, the linebacker, and Dwayne Board, number 76. But a gain of 4 yards for Anderson, scrambling, makes it 2nd and 6 at the 49er, 37-yard line. Anderson now has 25 yards on 3 carries. Chicago leading the Vikings 3-0 in the second period. Miami has come back to tie New England at 7-7 in the second period. Slot formation left for the Bengals on 2nd down. Anderson up the middle, complete to Collinsworth. First down for the Bengals. On the coverage, the linebacker, Keena Turner, number 58. Another flag down back at the line of scrimmage.
Well, Collinsworth just runs down the field here and goes right inside the coverage here and stops and turns around. Now, I'll tell you what made this play was a great throw by Kenny Anderson of wedging that ball in there. Unfortunately, it has to come back.
It does. The preliminary signal from Jerry Seaman was a clipping penalty against the Cincinnati Bengals. And so the 49ers get themselves a break here via the penalty route against the Bengals, who are on the move.
Personal foul, clipping, number 58 on the offense.
Blair Bush, the center, number 58, guilty of clipping on the passing play, and so it is 2nd and 20 from the 49 of Cincinnati now. 3 wide receivers back in for the Bengals, with Steve Kreider joining Curtis and Collinsworth. Anderson, sideliner, Curtis complete, forced out by Wright. Pickup of about 9 yards, Fred.
Excuse me, Tim, but Isaac Curtis has been playing with injuries all year. And here, what he does here, see how he goes underneath the coverage right here and goes right to the sidelines? He's been doing that all year, and he's been taking a lot of blows. He's got a crushed-in cheekbone. It's been injured twice. He's got a hamstring injury. But he's played through all of this. He's a very physically and mentally tough. You think you have to be physically tough to play with injuries. He's also very mentally tough.
Curtis has made 32 catches coming into the game. The 9-year man from San Diego State. What a receiving core they've got now with Collinsworth and Mercer joining in as rookies this year. All kinds of motion, flags everywhere. On 3rd and 11 for the Bengals. Max Montoya, number 65, appeared to...
offense.
There it is. Illegally proceeding as he pulled back before that ball came back from the center, Blair Bush, to Anderson.
False start, number 65 offense.
So it'll bring up 3rd and 15, and penalties continue to plague the Bengals in this first half of play, and we've seen a lot of good offensive plays, Fred, but we have just a 7-0 football game.
Well, Forrest Gregg said they want to play well and win this thing and lock this thing up, but they can't do it by making mistakes.
3 wide receivers again for the Bengals on 3rd and 15. Anderson, just about running out of time, finds Collinsworth wide open, and a big play for the first down to the 27-yard line, where Eric Wright put the wrap on him, but one of the defenders appeared to slip as Collinsworth found the open space between the linebackers and the secondary. So the rookie from Florida comes up with a big play.
He's been doing this quite a bit this year. He's got 50-some-odd catches here. And what he does great here, he reads as he comes inside. Now, the ball is low because of the pressure that the 49ers were putting on Kenny Anderson.
Charles Alexander back in at running back with Johnson. They line up in the I formation. Cincinnati, first down. Alexander squeezes his way for about 2 yards. Craig Cookie and Archie Reese, the nose tackle, made the hit. But another flag is down. Alexander got to the 25-yard line of San Francisco.
You know, penalties like that down in this area come out of defensive frustration. What happens is, somewhere along the front line, the defensive lineman...
Personal foul, face mask, number 76 on the defense.
In that case, it was Dwayne Board, the right end. What happens is, Board's probably being frustrated here as far as his pass rush and his line play, so when he does get a chance to get a guy, he's a little bit too over-aggressive, and they get called for stuff like that.
Detroit in front of Green Bay, as you can see. Close, important game. Central, this is Johnson, and the 49ers shut him down inside the 20-yard line. He got to about the 18. Pickup of 2 yards on the play, depending on where they spot the ball. Chicago in front of the Vikings 3-0, and next Saturday NCAA basketball will precede the Minnesota-Detroit football game in the East, 1:30 Eastern, 12:30 Central. A lot of important games as we get closer and closer to the end of the regular season.
That could decide that division, that Minnesota-Detroit game.
2nd and 8 for the Bengals here in Cincinnati. 17-yard line. Anderson to Pete Johnson, complete. And he is hit immediately by Carlton Williamson, number 27. He got to the 12-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down. And about 3 yards to go. 3rd and a long 3 for a 1st down. David Burser comes into the game along with Steve Kreider. Alexander comes out, and the tight end Ross comes out. And the 49ers rush in a bunch of down and distance situation defensive players, including Milt McCall, the linebacker, number 53. Anderson with a quick drop, lobs it up, and it is incomplete. A diving save by Carlton Williamson, with Kreider evidently open behind him, hustling back. Williamson, in a desperation lunge, knocked it away.
Now, the receivers go down, and they go right to the corner. Now, I'll tell you something. This guy is a rookie. We said this before, but the position that he has on this play and his ability and his tenacity are just incredible. I'm very, very impressed with him. And I tell you, I don't think there's anything he can't do.
Looked like he was beaten on the play and scrambled back to make a brilliant defensive stop. So it is Jim Breach attempting the field goal for the Bengals from the 20-yard line, a 30-yard attempt. And it is good. Jim Breach connecting for the Bengals, his 18th field goal in 26 tries this season, and Cincinnati is on the scoreboard with 2:32 remaining 1st half. The 49ers lead 7-3. Tim Ryan with Fred Dreyer back here at Riverfront Stadium, where Jim Breach has kicked a 30-yard field goal to get Cincinnati into it here. They trail 7-3. Breach will kick it off. Bill Ring and Mike Wilson are the deep men for the 49ers, standing back on the goal line. And Breach nails it to the corner, and it goes into the end zone and all the way through for a touchback. So the 49ers will start from their own 20.
Excuse me, Tim. Jim Breach from University of California. They like him very, very much. He does a good job of placing the ball, as you saw there. His family being from California, sure he says hello.
New Backwoods Smokes just hit town. Looking wild, but tasting mild.
New Backwoods Smokes. How can anything that looks so wild taste so mild? New Backwoods Smokes. How can anything that looks so wild taste so mild?
New Backwoods Smokes. All natural tobacco, hand-rolled look in a keep 'em fresh pocket pouch.
How can anything that looks so wild taste so mild?
The engineers of Mercedes-Benz have created an advanced diesel power system. Its heart, this compact turbocharger. And this system has just transformed 2 more diesels into high-performance turbo diesels. Mercedes-Benz unleashes the 300D sedan and the 300 CD coupe. Now with 45% more power. The 300D sedan and the 300 CD coupe. The 2 newest turbo diesels from Mercedes-Benz.
They upset the Cowboys, made turkey of the Chiefs on Thanksgiving. Saturday, the Detroit Lions face the Minnesota Vikings in a fight for the playoffs starting at 3:30 Eastern with the NFL Today, Saturday on CBS.
Forrest Gregg, what a season he's having with these Bengals as their head coach. Elsewhere in the NFL today, Detroit in front of Green Bay now 10-7 in the second quarter. That's a nail-biter and a key game for both clubs. Chicago still in front of Minnesota. The Vikings in that Central Division dogfight as well. Next week, Green Bay at New Orleans. Fred now will be down there, and the Giants at St. Louis. So obviously the way the Packers score is going today, that could be a biggie next week down in New Orleans. All right, the 49ers first down. Montana complete to Wilson. Wilson gets away from one Bengal tackler and then is hauled down by Gary Burley, who came way back from the line of scrimmage. But the 49ers have a first down out to their 36-yard line. Mike Wilson, number 85, the rookie from Washington State, with Freddie Solomon out of the lineup with a kidney injury. Mike Schumann, the 4-year man from Florida State, and Mike Wilson, the rookie from Washington State, getting the action today. And we have reached the 2-minute warning here at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, where the score remains the 49ers 7, the Bengals 3.
Gramp, I'm here to help you install your garage door opener.
I did it myself, son. It's a Stanley.
Hey, Dad, thanks for the garage door opener.
I'll show you how to put it up.
Oh, we did it this morning.
Stanley. Harry. Oh, happy birthday, dear.
You did it yourself.
It's a Stanley.
Stanley, we want to help you do things right.
This Christmas, open the door for someone you love. Give a Stanley garage door opener.
Okay, everybody, let's hear it for winter driving. Well, we didn't hear from you Jeep CJ owners. Off to the slopes, eh? Didn't hear from you Wagoneer families. Nice and secure. And you Jeep Cherokee owners don't seem to mind a little snow. Say, you Jeep truckers just keep on trucking, don't you? While you Jeep scramblers keep on scrambling. Get out of your rut this winter and get into Jeep. Now with ice-breaking rebates from $500 to $775.
Next Saturday, NCAA basketball action continues on CBS Sports. Both of you will see Marquette against the Deacons of Wake Forest live at 1:30 Eastern. Then the NFL Today kicks off with a special Saturday broadcast at 3:30, followed by the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions game. That should be a big one. Viewers in the Pacific time zone will see their NCAA basketball following the NFL action, and it'll be the USC Trojans against the Long Beach State 49ers. A great Saturday of sports next week on CBS. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. 3 wide receivers are in for the 49ers. On first down, Montana lofts it out incomplete for Dwight Clark. Coverage on him by the linebacker Reggie Williams, number 57. It'll bring up second down for San Francisco from their own 36-yard line. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Bengals and the National Football League is prohibited. Mike St. Clair comes in defensively for the Bengals, number 72. Cameron and LeClaire come out. Eason Ramson is in at tight end for the 49ers on 2nd and 10. Earl Cooper, running back. Montana under pressure for Schumann, incomplete. Montana just got that away. Covering Schumann on the play was number 27, Brian Hicks.
Tim, one of the things that we've brought out about Joe Montana is his ability to improvise. Now, he knew he was going to get hit. Now, Schumann runs a pattern down here, runs under the defense. See how all the defensive guys have been cleared out by the other guys? Well, that pass was almost completed by a guy who was almost literally parallel with the ground. So that's a great play and a great adjustment by Joe Montana to get rid of the ball.
Montana's now 10 of 15, Fred, for 91 yards and a touchdown. Cooper and Patton are the running backs on third down. In motion goes Ricky Patton. Montana rolling. He's got real estate. Has the first down and slides into the 48-yard line of the San Francisco 49ers.
That was a play from Joe Montana all the way from the snap of the ball. That was all Joe Montana, and he got a real good block on the defensive end to allow him to get outside on that. Those type of plays can hurt you, but on the other hand, like I said earlier by Kenny Anderson, if you run with the ball, you may have to pay an ultimate price with it. You can't afford to get this guy hurt.
St. Clair comes out. 3 down linemen, Burley, Whitley, and Browner for the Bengals on first down. 48-yard line of San Francisco. Montana wants to throw, and he found Schumann, but he dropped the ball. Schumann was open. Now flags are thrown. After Schumann dropped the ball, he took a lick, and he might have gotten one too many. Let's see what the call is by referee Jerry Seaman on this play. It would be a tough break against Cincinnati because Schumann had dropped the ball. It is a personal foul indicated, and Referee Seaman's going to confer to make sure he gets the right man here, I guess. So the 49ers take advantage of the penalty against the Bengals and have another first down, and the ball is at the 36 of the Bengals.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 26 on the defense. First down.
Bobby Kemp, the rookie from California at Fullerton, is the man.
Now, Montana unloads the ball. Yeah, I think, that's a legitimate call. I think so. What he did was, in the opinion of the official, not only did he hit him late, but he hit him with his face mask.
So the 49ers keep it going in Bengal territory. Patton with a good hole behind Keith Bonhorst and picks up 6 yards on the play. Another flag is down. We have seen more yellow out here than we've seen white and black and orange.
Looks like the highway out here.
This one is apparently against the 49ers.
We're going to even it up now, I guess.
Oh, they don't do that, do they, Fred?
Well, sometimes.
57 seconds remaining in the first half of play. What kind of conversation do you have when that happens? You go over and talk to the official?
Holding number 49 on the offense.
Well, you have a tendency to question his judgment very vehemently. Don't get too close, so you get thrown out. You don't want to be like Leo DeRoche and get too close to these guys and start bumping them. But you really want to let them know you thought it was a lousy call.
Earl Cooper got this call for holding. It backs the 49ers out to the Bengals' 46-yard line. Mike Wilson is in, 3 wide receivers. Lone running back is Cooper, and he gets out into the pattern quickly to Clark. Clark with a nice move. Got away from LeClaire. Bo Harris came back to get him.
You know, Tim, in the opinion of Bill Walsh, number 87, Dwight Clark, is the team's MVP.
Hurry up offense here as the 49ers flip it out to Clark again. Montana completing it, and Clark stretching, trying to get the first down as Ken Riley pulled on his ankles to keep him short of the first down. 30 seconds on the clock as play is called. An injured Bengal down at the 25-yard line, and that is Cameron, number 50, getting up slowly, but apparently all right.
The 49ers do a very, very good job, don't they, of moving the ball with 2 minutes or less. They've won a game in Los Angeles because of this guy here, Montana's ability to move the football.
49ers have taken the timeout with 25 seconds left. With 30 seconds left, pardon me, on the 25-yard line. And so Joe Montana has a chance to discuss offensive strategy here with the 49er coaching staff.
Part of that strategy is, and part of his development as a coach and a quarterback relationship, is times like this when they really have to communicate, look into each other's eyes, and understand exactly in concept what each other is saying. It's very, very important not to have any wasted motion down here inside the 20-yard line.
Coming up at halftime, we're going to have Brent Musburger, and Herb Cross will be along to update you on all of the action around the National Football League today. And with this wild card situation literally wide open, all of those scores of interest and importance. Patton comes in. Wilson goes out for the 49ers. They have first down at the Bengal 25. We have 30 seconds remaining in the first half. Great drop for Montana, has lots of time. Intended for Clark, and it's incomplete. Had he caught it, he would have been out of bounds. Riley and Williams, 13 and 57 on the coverage for Cincinnati. 2nd and 10. The clock stopped with 24 seconds remaining. In the half, the San Francisco 49ers leading at 7-3. We've had lots of offense, but little scoring. Penalties and 2 interceptions by the 49ers, blunting any more scoring on the part of the teams involved today.
You know, if you had to say up to this point in time in the first half what team has done the things they wanted to do, it's been the 49ers. They've allowed to play their nickel against Cincinnati, and they've allowed to they've been able to move the ball on the ground and in the air.
2nd and 10. Cooper goes in motion. Flared out to Ricky Patton. Patton is one-on-one with Harris, gets out of bounds, after a gain of only about 3 yards, stopping the clock with 16 seconds remaining in this first half. Temperatures in the high 30s here in Cincinnati on a brilliant sunny afternoon. Shadows have almost completely covered the turf here at Riverfront Stadium. Tim Ryan with Fred Dreyer. This key matchup between two 10-3 teams. People are afraid to talk about it being a Super Bowl preview because there's still too much that can happen the rest of the way in the NFL. But right now, along with Dallas, they have the best records in the NFL. Flags everywhere again.
Encroachment, number 75 defense.
Wilson Whitley is charged with encroachment. And the 49ers pick up an easy 5. And didn't lose anything on the clock. Still 16 seconds left.
Encroachment, number 75 defense.
3rd and 2. Big penalty there.
Yeah, it was a very big penalty. And I wouldn't be surprised if right down inside this territory, if you can get a couple more of those within the next 16 seconds, you're in business.
Wide throw set. Patton and Cooper. Patton, blockers in front of him, trying to take it outside. A brilliant tackle by Reggie Williams. Stripping through the blockers and making an ankle grab. Patton appears to have the first down. 8 seconds remaining in the first half, and the 49ers take another timeout. Montana will head over to talk to Bill Walsh. 7-3, the 49ers lead it. They have 1 timeout remaining. And they now have the ball at the 14-yard line, just inside the 15 of Cincinnati with a first down.
I would think right now Bill Walsh would tell Joe, keep the ball, put the ball in the center of the field so our field goal kicker can get 3 points. I don't know if he would like to try to risk an interception or a turnover down here by throwing the football. I think he would try to keep it on the ground.
Well, it's been a most interesting half of football. We have seen these two teams that are so well balanced, a lot of really interesting offense, not just your usual run-of-the-mill kind of offensive display. They both have been very entertaining, but we've seen inevitable flags occur just when the teams have had drives going. And in the case of the Bengals, of course, they had their first 2 offensive series stopped by interceptions by the 49ers.
I think a lot of it might be due to the fact that both teams are, I should say that the Bengals are trying to clinch. They haven't yet. They might be a little bit envious of the 49ers who have.
Well, a victory today would clinch a playoff spot for them. Of course, you'd like to win that division, but Pittsburgh's still alive in it. Slot formation left on first down. Montana will throw. Intended for Clark. Is he in? Yes. Touchdown. White Clark just inside the in line. Right on the money. 2 officials were standing on the in line, and he got those 2 feet down with 2 seconds on the clock.
Well, my expertise really showed up there, didn't it? I thought I was figuring they would go for 3 points, but they went into the end zone. That's what's interesting about this football team. Dwight Clark comes down. It's somewhat of a surprise to Ken Riley. He just goes to the end line, and that's where the ball's going to be. In this situation, what happens is the quarterback is told to go to the end line, and he runs to the ball.
Ray Wersching in for the point after. And he has it. So the 49ers, with a touchdown in the final seconds of this first half, have opened up a 14-3 lead here at Cincinnati's Riverfront Stadium.
I can remember what it's like, just like David, sitting in the audio booth, listening to all those different frequencies of sounds, wondering if I would soon be able to hear like the other kids.
This is Reggie Williams of the Cincinnati Bengals, an NFL star who suffered severe hearing and speech problems as a child.
I know from personal experience of the loneliness, of the feelings of insecurity, of the problems that
American Motors and its AMC Jeep and Renault dealers. Radio Shack, a division of Tandy Corporation. And by STP Gas Treatment and STP Oil Treatment.
Back here at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio, it is a little cooler with the sun now not having any effect in the stadium. We're looking at Ken Anderson, who will try to rally these Bengals back as they trail 14-3 to the San Francisco 49ers at the end of the first half. What happened in that first period that led to the first score, Ronnie Lott intercepted and returned it to the San Francisco 34, and Joe Montana marched him down the field where he connected on this little flare pass to Bill Ring out of the backfield, who was completely uncovered on the play. This was the second one, Fred, to Dwight Clark. What a move he put on Riley there.
What happens is he went down the center of the field. The ball was thrown to the inline. He ran to the ball, and there was a drop coverage by a safety. A safety should have helped inside out on that play.
So those were the two scores, and the 49ers came up with a pair of interceptions. Lott's 7th of the season that led to the touchdown by Ring, and the other interception by Keena Turner, their fine young linebacker, who stopped the second Cincinnati drive at the San Francisco 10-yard line. And so those were two very big defensive plays by the 49ers. Meanwhile, the Bengals came up with some defensive gems of their own until the final seconds when Montana connected on that touchdown to Clark. And so the Bengals will kick it off. Jim Breach, and the deep man is Mike Wilson and Bill Ring. A short kickoff. Ring gets it at the 10-yard line. Ring runs into traffic at the 25, bowls his way for an extra couple, and gets out to the 27. 16-yard return, as we see that the 49ers had 15 first downs to 11 for the Bengals. And while they had a rushing advantage, the Bengals with 77-46, they're well behind in the passing department, 124-82. And that turnover count that we talked about, the two interceptions, of course, stopping Cincinnati's offensive thrust early in this football game. So the 49ers will start with a slot formation left on first down to open the second half. Wide open is Ricky Patton, and Montana, Freddie, it looked to me like he was the last guy that he saw, and Patton was still open when the ball got there.
Yeah. Ricky Pat had all day to catch the ball and do anything he could with it. Unfortunately, he was too close to the end line, had a lot of Bengals around, so he just stepped out of bounds. It'll be interesting to see what Montana does this second half. Here, like you say, he took a long time to find his receivers, and then when he got the ball, that's a long pass to throw in that situation. But it'll be interesting to see what the Bengals do defensively to establish the game and get the game back to them.
The gain of 7 as Reggie Williams pushed him out of bounds. Swing it out to Cooper, and Cooper down the sideline has a first down and then some as he tiptoed down the sideline over the 50-yard line into Bengal territory. Fine running by Cooper. Ken Riley finally stopped him.
You know, after Cooper catches this ball, I think he's anticipating getting pushed out of bounds right about here, and it didn't happen. He just kept his feet and going on down the sideline.
Good job by Cooper. They are just inside the 50-yard line in Cincinnati territory. Cooper and Patton, the running backs. Montana deep for Clark. And it is intercepted by Ken Riley. Riley and Hicks coming over to help out. The pass a little bit underthrown, and Riley made the perfect interception.
That's what you want to have. That's exactly what you want to have this early in the drive. Now, the 49ers have had the ball a couple of plays now, and Montana's completed some passes. Now he tries to go up the top and get the ball. It's a great thing to have a veteran like Ken Riley, to make a big play like that. It should ignite their offense. The Bengals have now got to get the ball moved down the field.
You are about to leave the world of ordinary cars behind and make the Eagle switch. The revolutionary two-wheel, four-wheel drive American Eagle. The only automobile that lets you switch from two-wheel drive to full-time four-wheel drive. From high mileage on the road to high adventure off the road. Two-wheel drive luxury to four-wheel drive security. American Eagle. Now up to $1,000 rebates on selected new Eagles direct from American Motors.
Radio Shack makes Christmas dreams come true.
This mini phone you gave me will sure be great for the den. Super small size, push-button dial with a memory button that automatically redials busy numbers.
An extra long 16-foot cord.
And it hangs up when you put it down on any flat surface.
Besides, we save even more when we own our own phone instead of renting it. And it's on sale for $39.88.
Honey, I should have gotten you one for the kitchen.
Well, you did.
Built and sold only by Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
Thursday.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash.
It's a heartwarming Christmas visit to Scotland with the Carter family and special guest Andy Williams. Join Johnny Cash Thursday.
So Ken Riley comes up with a big interception for the Bengals at their own 9-yard line. Word is that Lawrence Pillars of the 49ers suffered a shoulder injury in the first half, is being x-rayed, will probably not return today. Kenny Anderson brings out the Bengals. Johnson and Alexander, the running backs. Pitch out to Pete Johnson. Shut down at the line of scrimmage, gets away from one tackle. Craig Pookie, the first man to hit him. And then he was finally hauled down over there by Dwayne Board. Board, who hurt his knee against the Giants, was already playing with a sore shoulder. So the 49ers defensively got a few guys banged up, playing hurt. Now Pillars is out, and Pete Kugler went out the last play of the game last week against the Giants. He's on injured reserve. A gain of 3 for Pete Johnson. Johnson trying to get to that 1,000-yard mark for the season. Looks like they'll do it before this year is over. Second and a long 6. Anderson. Alexander is open. He's tripped up by Ronnie Lott and stopped just short of the first down, it would appear. He'll spot the ball at about the 18-yard line and bring up 3rd and 1. Ronnie Lott a little unhappy with himself, but what a season he has had. He and Lawrence Taylor are the Giants, 2 top contenders for Defensive Rookie of the Year.
No matter who you choose in that situation, you got yourself a great football player.
For sure. Third and a yard. The I formation for the Bengals. In motion is David Purser. Alexander has the first down. Over the 20 to the 21. So the Bengals come out from the shadow of their goal line following the interception at the 9. Green Bay in front of Detroit, 14-10. And Green Bay, 6-7. Detroit, 7-6 going into the game. The Bears continue to lead Minnesota 3-0. It's been that way since early in the game. They're now in the 3rd period. Green Bay at New Orleans next week. If those Packers can win today, makes that one interesting. Freddie and I will be there in the Superdome. The Giants will be at St. Louis next week. Some of our early action on CBS. First down, Cincinnati. Alexander in motion. Anderson complete. Tight end Dan Ross at the 30-yard line. Pickup of 8 yards on the play. Ross, a busy man this year with 58 receptions, leading the club in that category coming into the game. It'll be 2nd and a yard to go at the 31-yard line of Cincinnati. Collinsworth goes out to the left, Isaac Curtis to the right. Johnson straight ahead behind Dave Lapham and Blair Bush has the first down and 4 more to the 35 of the Bengals.
You know, it's easy to turn around and give the ball to a guy like Pete Johnson, but he likes to run in there behind Munoz and Dave Lapham. Lapham is they call him the tool because he can play anywhere on the offensive line. He's a very good offensive lineman. He's in his 8th year out of Syracuse, and the interesting thing about this line is it's been staying together the whole year. This line is the reason that they're good this year.
Hot formation left. Play action, Anderson's going to run it. He's got lots of room. Anderson goes out of bounds at the 46-yard line of San Francisco. Anderson had everybody going the other way, and he had a lot of room to run in.
What you can't do defensively now, you see the Willie Harper on the weak side and Keena Turner on the weak side. Whoever's on the weak side has to stay home and to prevent things like this. There's scouters up here in the booth look down on the field and signal down to the sideline for these guys to do that. Now, if they don't adjust to that, this guy Anderson will break their back all day with that play.
The Bengals are driving in San Francisco territory. They trail 14-3 on a pair of Joe Montana touchdown passes. Everybody out in this pattern. Deep for Collinsworth. He dropped the ball. Collinsworth was behind Wright, had the ball in his hands. He made the diving catch, and when he hit the turf, he dropped it. Tough break for the brilliant rookie from Florida.
You won't see this too often, not from Chris Collinsworth. He's a very conscientious guy. Now, he's 6'5", 192 pounds, and he has 4.5 speed. He should have caught the ball. He knows that. But I'll guarantee you one thing. Ken Anderson will come back to him later on today.
Maybe on this down. It's 2nd and 10. They left Collinsworth in there. Sometimes they'll give him a little rest after a long run like that. They've got a slot formation left. 3 receivers over there on the left side. Anderson is dropped by Leopold. Bobby Leopold, number 52, sacking Anderson 2 yards deep.
Bob Leopold is a linebacker who comes in for Keena Turner at times. Now Anderson is hurt. Now, what I think happened perhaps is on that blitz, when Leopold sacked him, he grabbed his arm. If his right arm is hurt, they're in trouble, of course. But I think what had happened was they grabbed his arm on the blitz. Jack Thompson, who's quite capable, throwing Samoan. The Bengals have a hurt quarterback, and they need to get their offense moving if they want to get back into this game. It's 14-3.
Anderson is limping off.
STP, a big name in racing for nearly 20 years. STP oil treatment on the track in some of the world's most expensive engines. Around the track, around the world, every day, tens of thousands of people get STP oil treatment. Get it for your car. Satisfaction guaranteed. Around the track, around the world, STP oil treatment is #1.
Over the years, us guys in light beer from Miller have had a lot of laughs. But this time we'd like to share some personal sentiments. Boo, have a very Merry Christmas.
Yeah, and a Happy New Year, too.
Yeah. And this holiday, may there be bass under all your lily pads.
May all your pockets be full.
Feliz Navidad. Peace.
We wish you everything you always wanted in a Christmas.
And more.
You know, I'm glad they asked me to do this commercial. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Cincinnati fans love all of their quarterbacks here, and it's the throwing Samoan having to come in as Anderson is receiving attention to his leg on the Bengals bench. Jack Thompson, number 12, 6'3", 217-pounder from Washington State, their #1 pick in 1979. Play action out of the shotgun and a quick flip to Johnson. Ronnie Lott pulled him down, but it looks like he has a Cincinnati first down. And how's that for razzle-dazzle on the first play by Jack Thompson?
That's the time when you want to call a play like that, is when the defense thinks they've got you down a little bit, and your quarterback has been knocked out of the game to come back with a play like that. That's a very good play call right there. Good execution on Pete Johnson's and the throwing Samoan's part.
So the Bengals keep it moving at the 35-yard line. Alexander and Johnson are the running backs. Collinsworth out to the left. Isaac Curtis to the right. Jack Thompson has thrown 31 times coming into the game. Outstanding year Anderson has had. Thompson and Turk Schoenert have not seen much playing time. Thompson has the time, and his pass a little high for Dan Ross, the tight end. 2nd and 10. From the 35-yard line of San Francisco, the 49ers lead it 14-3. The stats on the throw on Samoan from Washington State. We'll try and get a report on Anderson as quickly as we can. The way these Bengals are going this year, trying to clinch a playoff spot. The kind of year he's having. Terribly important to have him back in action. Kreider and Verser are in with Curtis, two wide receivers. Back is Johnson to give it to him, and he has a big hole. He dropped the ball. It's recovered by the 49ers' Bobby Leopold. Pete Johnson after a big gain. Ronnie Lott on the hit on Johnson, along with Keena Turner, and the ball popped loose and Leopold came up with it. So the Bengals stopped themselves again.
Watch now after the ball has been handed off. Watch the tackle coming in here. Ronnie Lott's been doing that all year. Sticks a left shoulder in there, and Bobby Leopold is around the football. That's one of the reasons the 49ers are doing so well defensively. Everybody makes big plays.
So the 49ers will take over at their own 31-yard line, and they lead it here in the third period.
Presenting the new Toyota Supra and Dan Gurney. It takes the right stuff to make a great performance car. Come ride with Dan Gurney and see.
It's quick off the line. That's the twin-cam fuel-injected engine. Now let's see the independent four-wheel suspension in action. Handles well. Nice brakes.
The new Toyota Celica Supra.
That's the right stuff.
Supra.
At Denny's, we slice the tender tips from lean sirloin steak. Braise them to seal in their hearty flavor. Smother them in rich mushroom gravy. Simmer them gently. Ladle them over durum flour egg noodles and serve them with a roll and salad, all for the special price of only $2.99. Braised sirloin tips, only at Denny's, where you'll like our prices and you'll love our food.
When a young computer thief is kidnapped by the bank he's stealing from, finding him becomes a personal vendetta for private investigators Simon and Simon. Tuesday.
We're back in Cincinnati, where the 49ers have taken over on Leopold's fumble recovery, and Cooper has running room out the right side. Earl Cooper forced out by Brian Hicks, but he may have another 49er first down. Good blocking out the right side. Fonhorst cross, and the tight end Charlie Young, a 15-yard gain. Bengals have turned it over 3 times in this football game. We are early in the third quarter. 2 interceptions and a fumble. There is Jack Thompson. No word yet officially on Ken Anderson, who is still seated on the Bengals bench, came limping off the field after a sack. Ricky Patton going straight ahead. Picks up a couple for the 49ers, approaching midfield. Middle of that Bengal line, and the linebacker Cameron in on the hit. Call it a gain of only a yard. 2nd and 9 at the 47-yard line of San Francisco. Temperatures in the mid-30s here on a very bright sunny afternoon in Cincinnati. 14-3, the 49ers lead it. Play action, Montana for Schumann. Did he catch it in or out of bounds? Incomplete. Caught the ball, but just out of bounds. On the coverage, Louis Breeden, number 34. Mike Schumann getting the playing time today, the 4-year man from Florida State with the injury to Solomon. Freddie Solomon suffered a bruised kidney last week against New York, and he had been playing in that game with knee and foot ailments already. Bill Walsh in his return to Cincinnati, where he'd been an assistant for 8 years, enjoying the way this is going thus far. Mike St. Clair is in to make 4 down linemen. Ray Griffin in the secondary on 3rd and 9 for Cincinnati. And open is Wilson, and the rookie receiver has another 49er first down as he slips down at the 41-yard line of Cincinnati. Bo Harris, a linebacker, 53, holding him there.
Mike Wilson can play either side, so whatever side he comes off doesn't make any difference. Ken Riley pushes him inside, but what he does is he gets right past the coverage, reads where the drop of the linebackers are, goes to the open area. Here's another angle of this. Good work here on the cameraman's part, because he picks up what a defensive back would see, and he just goes to the open area to catch the football. Good play.
With Tim Ryan here in Cincinnati, this is Cooper. Cooper off tackle right and gets out to the 45-yard line, the 35-yard line, pardon me, of the Cincinnati Bengals with Glenn Cameron, the linebacker from Florida, pulling him down there. And again, that varied offensive work of the San Francisco 49ers being displayed here in this third quarter. There's Cameron, number 1 pick in 1975. The word on Ken Anderson, we have just received a sprained toe and could return in this football game. So Bengals fans can relax and breathe a little easier. Cooper is dropped behind the line for a loss, and it's Cameron again, number 50. Blowing in there, the 6'2", 228-pounder with another big play.
It's very difficult to run inside on Cincinnati. 2 reasons. Glenn Cameron, 50, Jim LeClaire, 55, and another reason is Wilson Whitley does a very good job of controlling the offensive center. If the center cannot get away from the nose man to get blocking angles, you can't run up the middle. So those 3 guys are very, very efficient there for the Bengals.
Third down and 7. The nickel defense is in for the Bengals. It's flipped up for Clark, and there's a clever play by that young man from Clemson. The ball was poorly thrown, and Bobby Kemp had a chance back there to intercept it. But Clark very cleverly just put his hand out and batted the ball away, preventing the interception. So it brings up 4th down. The Bengals did another fine job defensively on that series. Here's that play again.
There's the play again, and you're right, Tim. He realizes it's poorly thrown. It's thrown too far to the right of him, which puts the defender between him and the ball, and he just reaches over and knocks it down.
Miller comes in to punt for the 49ers. He's standing at his own 48-yard line. Lone man back is Max Fuller. Fuller returning it from the 8. Gets out to the 18-yard line for Cincinnati. He's met there by Milt McCall. And number 24, that is Rick Jervis. We'll return to Cincinnati with the score, the 49ers 14, the Bengals 3.
Update Baltimore. Curtis Dickey, the lone bright spot in an otherwise dismal season for the Colts. 67 yards on the run, but the Cowboys are all over the Colts. They lead them now 27-6. Let's go back to Tim Ryan.
6:09 remaining in the third quarter. And there's the Bengal along the sidelines. There's the score here at Riverfront Stadium. Tim Ryan with Fred Dreyer. 2 10-3 teams. Jack Thompson continues at quarterback. Ken Anderson on the bench with a sprained toe. Johnson and Alexander are the running backs. Alexander steps up wide. They give it to Johnson. He's got a big hole and blasts out over the 30-yard line. Pete Johnson from Ohio State picks up 15 yards and a first down.
Here's that replay of Dwight Clark. Now he looks inside for the ball. Now right here, you see Bobby Kemp looking at Dwight Clark. Now Kemp doesn't know where the ball is until he sees Clark look up for the ball. And that's when the ball was thrown poorly. And I'll tell you, Dwight Clark made a very, very heads-up play by knocking that ball down. Otherwise, Kemp would have had it.
All right, so the Bengals moving it out from their own end. Have a first down now at their own 35-yard line. Thompson at quarterback. Has time. Now can't find a receiver. Thompson just unloads it upfield in the general direction of Isaac Curtis, who was way deep on the sideline. Ronnie Lott trying to come up and grab an interception on the ball that was thrown short. Johnson has now rolled up 59 yards on 10 carries. He came in with 876. Philadelphia now leads the Redskins 13-6 in the fourth period. They can get to 10-4 with a victory there today. Dallas way out in front of Baltimore in the second period, 27-6. And that victory, apparent victory, would make them 11-3. And next week they'll meet each other, the Eagles and the Cowboys, on our big doubleheader game on CBS. Tight ends are in for the Bengals. M.L. Harris joining Dan Ross. Johnson, the lone running back. Play action fake to him. And an underhand pass by Jack Thompson was knocked down by John Hardy. The pressure on the quarterback came from Fred Dean, number 74.
Fred Dean, excuse me, but Ken Anderson here has what they call a turf toe. His large toe has been bent back when he got sacked that last time. He could possibly play if needed, but if not, they're going to just get him well.
Thompson had to unload that ball in a hurry against the pressure from Dean. It brings up third down. Slot formation left. Curtis out to the right. Thompson is dropped just as he was about to release the ball, and I think it was Dean from his knees who actually took the footing away from Thompson, and then Jim Stuckey buried him from on top. So Jack Thompson getting pressure.
Now here's the nickel situation we talked about. 49ers have been able to go into a nickel, and Stuckey and Fred Dean run a stunt inside here. And what it does, it makes avenues for the defensive lineman to get in there. Fred Dean grabs him by his right ankle, and then Jim Stuckey cleans him up. That's good teamwork.
McAnally will punt. Hicks, the receiver, waiting for it at the 30-yard line. McAnally, kind of a line drive, gets a Bengal bounce, fielded at the 25 by Hicks. And Hicks is buried under a pile of black and orange shirts. Got the ball to the 34-yard line of San Francisco, where the 49ers will start when we return as they protect a 14-3 lead here in the third quarter.
Going to be a little short, about 70 miles. This is Bob for Texaco Hope in the Gulf of Mexico. This water is 260 feet deep. It can cost up to 6 times more to drill for oil out here than on land. But we got to do this to help meet your energy needs in the years ahead. You can trust the Star at home and in your car.
Toyota asked to compare their new long bed sport truck to our Jaguar XJ6.
And we laughed.
Granted, the Toyota truck is well appointed. I say, 4-speed automatic overdrive. Handles most nimbly. Still, we laughed. Until Toyota told us we both had to carry a piano.
Oh, what a feeling! Feels like a car, works like a truck.
Toyota. Saturday, get into the spirit with NCAA basketball on CBS Sports. Wake Forest meets Marquette, and USC takes on Long Beach State in regional action. Saturday on CBS Sports.
A full house at Riverfront Stadium for this one, and meanwhile, look at the standings in that Central Division of the NFC. Dogfights going on around the league today. It'll be very hard to predict who's going to come out of that division, with Minnesota, Detroit, and Tampa Bay all tied, and Green Bay leading in their football game 21-10 in the third period. A chance to move right back into the top of the pack. Next week they'll be in New Orleans. We'll be there. Chicago still holding that 3-0 lead over Minnesota. The Bears have played tough defense the last couple of weeks. It is first down here for the 49ers following the Bengals punt. Earl Cooper is met just over the line of scrimmage and sent sprawling backward. The hit came from Gary Burley, number 67, starting for the injured Eddie Edwards today.
The Bengals have got to start thinking now in terms of going for the ball, giving their offense an opportunity to get the ball into the 49er territory. They've got to start making turnovers on defense.
Credit to McAnally, who came up with a 51-yard punt on that last opportunity. Eason Ramson has come in as tight end for the 49ers on 2nd and 8. Motion behind the ball, Schumann, number 84. Montana under pressure, screen to Cooper. Cooper's hit from behind. Excellent defense by the Bengals. Wilson Whitley, the man, upset him. Reggie Williams made sure he got no farther. Now for an NFL Today report, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Tim, you spoke of the NFC Central, and here's the play that really has that divisional race up in the air right now. Dickey, 15 yards to Lofton for a touchdown. The Lions have squandered a 10-point lead in that game, and the Packers could be right in the thick of it. Back to Tim Ryan.
All right, Brent, back here in Cincinnati, it is 3rd down and 14. Mike St. Clair's come in to give them a 4-man front. The Bengals. Montana to Patton, and he can't hold on. The ball was thrown low. He was in full stride when Williams had pursued it. Could have been a big gainer. Montana is displeased with himself. He did not lead Patton, who had a lot of real estate in front of him. So San Francisco will have to punt. Jim Miller comes in, the barefooted punter. 34.7 average today. Back deep is Mike Fuller, number 42, awaiting the punt at the 30-yard line of Cincinnati. 14-3 to score. Nearly blocked. Steve Kreider. And the ball goes out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Kreider is down and hurt as he made quite an effort. He collided with the punter, Miller. There are no flags down. It was a great effort by Kreider, who nearly came up with a huge play.
On this play, the ball took too long getting to the kicker, and once the kicker got it, he held it too long. Kreider, being a great athlete, takes a knee right in the stomach. I thought the punter there, I thought the punter, Jim Miller, might have broke his leg, because I've seen that happen too many times. That's a great defensive play by Steve Kreider.
Well, Kreider might even have got a little piece of the ball, and credit to Miller for getting it as far as he did, to the 40-yard line of the Bengals. But Cincinnati with a good field position now, and the crowd's coming alive here. Their offense has been blunted by 3 turnovers. Johnson with a big hole, running over people for a first down into the San Francisco 42-yard line. White Hicks finally pulled him down. He had a good hole at the point of attack behind Montoya and Wilson, and then he rolled over people.
Pete Johnson likes to play at about 250 pounds. As a matter of fact, he'd like to play at 260 pounds because he says he feels better. And believe me, at 250 or 260, it doesn't make any difference if you're a defensive guy.
15-yard gain for Johnson. First down. Thompson continues at quarterback for the injured Kenny Anderson. Johnson again, blasting his way through one more time. And the crowd coming alive with the Bengals running offense. Hicks and Williamson stopped them that time, but the offensive line of the Bengals suddenly starting to open gaping holes against San Francisco's defense. Johnson now with 82 yards. Now we have 82 officially. We'll double check that for you. 12 carries. John Hardy is in at the nose tackle, replacing Archie Reese. Defensively for the 49ers. Lone running back set up is Johnson as Alexander's flanked wide to the left. Tina Turner had Thompson, and Thompson is the player's call as they had him in the grass. And Thompson unhappy, and with cause, as he got away twice. The first time from Turner alone, the second time from Hardy and Turner, but the officials ruling that they had him in their grasp.
Yeah, Tim, Dan Ross's dropping the ball is secondary to the fact that in the judgment of the official, they had him. Now, as a defensive player, he was not down. Now, he's not down until he's down. But to keep the people from piling on and hurting the quarterbacks, there's a judgment call there, and sometimes it goes against you, and it went against the Bengals that time.
I think so, too. I don't think they had him in the grasp. Here is Thompson on second and 19, and it's intended for Kreider, thrown on the wrong side. He made a good effort to turn and catch the ball, but it's knocked away by Dwight Hicks. Action heating up here in this third period with 52 seconds remaining in the third quarter. It'll be third down.
Dwight Hicks, 22. Dwight Hicks and his hot licks, as he likes to call those people back there with him, Eric Wright and Carlton Williams and Ronnie Lott. Those people have been giving everybody a lot of problems, and they're doing exactly what Kenny Anderson was afraid of. They're giving the Bengals problems.
3 wide receivers are in for Cincinnati. David Verser, the number 1 pick from Kansas. Thompson, Collinsworth. Eric White puts the hit on him, and then the ball comes loose. But it is maintained by Cincinnati as it rolled out of bounds with Collinsworth the last man to touch it. Again, tough hitting by the 49ers, springing the ball loose. But the Bengals maintain possession. It'll be 4th down, however, and 13 yards still to go for a Cincinnati first down as they moved it to the 36 of San Francisco on the play. And Forrest Gregg will elect to punt the ball. Officials timeout, 14 seconds remaining in the third period. 14-3 the score. San Francisco in front. McAnally looking over to the Bengals bench. There is Forrest Gregg, left-hand side of that coaching staff.
It's on the clock, please.
Forrest Gregg is very confident his Bengals and his offense can move against the 49ers. It's just that these mistakes are killing them, and they've got to stop making mistakes if they intend to win today.
St. Louis, meanwhile, as we see Bill Walsh out in front of the New Orleans Saints, 24-3 in the fourth quarter. Philadelphia leading Washington 13-9. Giants have scored to tie the Rams 7-7. Miami leads New England 21-14. That's in the third period. And here in Cincinnati, the Bengals on 4th down and 13 to go. They'll have Pat McAnally standing at midfield. Hicks going slowly back to the 15 like the 49ers believe maybe we're going to see a fake on the play. Let's see what the Bengals have in mind. And what they have in mind took too long. They got delay of game. Apparently the call, yes it is. There's the 0 up. So they'll be backed up a little bit farther.
You can see the giveaway and takeaway rankings in the league. Cincinnati's only given the ball away 18 times so far. They have a plus 16 rating. And they've taken the ball away 34 times. Look at San Francisco. They're right up. And look how many times they've taken the ball away from their opponents. That's
delay of game, number 87 offense.
The delay of game penalty being assessed against the Bengals. And those turnovers have been big in this game. 3 of them by the Bengals. McAnally lofting it for the corner. And it's just into the end zone as Purser was down there trying to down the ball, but the ball hopped away from him. He was unable to stop it from going in. 7 seconds on the clock here in the third period. Pat McAnally, a good effort, but the ball rolled in on him, and it's a first down for San Francisco from their own 20-yard line with a touchback, and they continue to lead this football game 14-3. 41-yard punt by McAnally. Minnesota has scored a touchdown. Tommy Kramer to Ahmad Rashad in the fourth period with 13:25 to play in that game. They now lead the Bears 7-3. Joe Montana brings up the 49ers. There has been some speculation by Benjamin would see some game time, but not so far. Clark complete with a flag down. A gain of about 6 yards for Dwight Clark, having another busy afternoon as a receiver for the San Francisco 49ers. That's the end of the third quarter with the score San Francisco 14 and Cincinnati 3. We'll be back. Well, hold everything. Flag on the play, so we'll stay here for a moment. Pick up the call. Referee Jerry Seaman. And it's going to be assessed against the 49ers.
Illegal motion, number 84 on the offensive team on the last play of the quarter.
Mike Schumann illegally in motion on the final play of the third period. And so when the teams resume play, the 49ers will still be in possession, 1st and 15. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. The 49ers 14 and the Bengals 3. Will be back with the start of the fourth quarter after this word from your local station.
Monday, the pampered Private Benjamin tries to trap the camp loan shark. Dan Nan hires Brentwood as a tutor, but will Gabby pass the test? The two of us in Private Benjamin Monday.
This is CBS.
The cost of just about everything is higher this year than last, and gas and electricity are no exception. Energy prices continue to rise everywhere in America. PG&E wants to help you control your use of electricity and gas. We'll send you this new Plan Your PG&E Bill kit to help you plan your energy costs ahead of time and keep tabs on it during the month. Just call us collect at 415-777-9622.
So you think you're fast enough to beat the bomber? I don't think so.
Kaboom! By Activision. Plug this cartridge into your Atari video game system and get ready to handle high explosives. Don't sneeze. Don't even blink, because the faster you get, the faster he gets.
And if you miss...
Kaboom! By Activision.
Baby Geniuses Monday at Evening Magazine.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Toyota, who invite you to review the 1982 Toyota Starlet at your local Toyota dealer. Oh, what a feeling to drive a Toyota. The Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. And by the Twin Action Norelco Rototrack Razor.
The Bengal crowd is alive here, and they were exhorted by Ross Browner, who started the cheerleading out there and kept up the crowd as the 49ers are starting 1st and 15 against the Bengals defense, the 5th-rated defense in the American Conference. Montana under pressure, complete to Clark. Clark trying to get away from Bo Harris, cannot. A gain of 5 as Harris, number 53, put the stop on him. And we see that Green Bay now leads Detroit 21-17. Billy Sims has scored for the Lions. And Green Bay and Detroit, of course, in a dogfight. Giants lead Los Angeles 10-7 in that 4th quarter in New York. And the Bears out in front of Minnesota 10-7 in the 4th period there. Eason Ransom is in for Charlie Young at tight end. Wide to the right, Schumann, to the left, Clark. Pitch shot to Cooper. Cooper has some running room and gets close to the first down. Hauled down by Brian Hicks, the second-year man from McNeese State. It'll be 3rd down and about a yard to go as Philadelphia now leading Washington 13-9 in the 4th quarter. Miami and New England, a big one for the Dolphins, 21-14. Miami 8-4-1. Trying to move ahead of the New York Jets as they are tied atop the AFC East. Charlie Young back in the lineup, tight end, along with Eason Ransom, double tight end. On 3rd and 1, the short yardage situation. They go wide with Cooper, and he has it. Cooper forced out by number 27, Hicks, but a pickup of about 7 or 8 yards on the play. That's an interesting call, going wide on that 3rd and short.
It certainly is, and normally you don't try to flip the ball and get wide on a 3-4 because of the linebackers' mobility back there, but the 49ers are doing a good job of getting people blocked.
40 yards for Earl Cooper today on 8 carries. Charlie Young back in at tight end. Park goes out to the left, 87. Schumann, 84, out to the right. First down, San Francisco. Montana in traffic to Clark. Clark, the ball still loose, and Reggie Williams may have caught it. Let's see what the call is. Incomplete, apparently, is the signal. Let's wait and see what. It was just an incompleted pass. The ball was batted around first by Clark. Williams had a shot at it. And it just goes as an incomplete pass. 2nd and 10.
Boy, is that a very, very dangerous pass to throw into traffic like that. It's lucky it was not picked off and returned for a touchdown because there's nobody back there to guard against that. He just goes into an open area. The ball should not have been thrown, but they forced it. Sometimes you get away with it. Sometimes you don't. And Reggie Williams was in the position to make a big play, but he didn't.
Here we saw the ball hit the ground in the replay.
Please reset the clock to 13-11.
Well, they've had to make correction on the clock playing time. 13-11 remaining in the fourth quarter, and you saw the coverage by Cameron on the play with Riley. Mike St. Clair has come in defensively for the Bengals. Second and 10. San Francisco's Ricky Patton has some running room out the right side and has a first down. So the 49ers went to the left with Cooper, came back to the right with Patton, and they're running well outside. Hicks forced him out.
Patton does an excellent job on getting the ball outside. It was just a 45 trap play on the defensive end. He waited for his blockers to make the block and then took it back outside again. It's a good job of reading the blocks by Ricky Patton.
The ball is at the 49-yard line of Cincinnati. And that was the defensive end's point of view, as initiated by our Fred Dreyer. Johnny Davis, and fullback number 38. Flare it out to Davis, and he can't hold on. The ball a little overthrown. He tried to one-hand it. Reggie Williams came up on the coverage, number 57 for Cincinnati. Second down for the 49ers. Late score in from that game at Washington in the fourth quarter. Look what's happened. The Redskins have moved ahead. And a pass interception touchdown by Ron Coleman, 15-13. Redskins giving the Eagles, who have been stumbling the last couple of weeks, a difficult time. Miami in front of New England, 24-14 on a field goal by Uwe von Schaman. That's also in the fourth period. Cooper back in the lineup, replacing Davis. Ricky Patton with him. The motion to tight end Charlie Young, who was lined up outside, and Cooper, good defensive play by the Bengals, is shut down. Trying to get wide, Mike St. Clair, number 72, and Bo Harris, number 53.
One of the reasons that they're trying to run outside is the fact is that Glenn Cameron, Wilson Whitley, and Jim LeClaire inside are just too tough to run up inside on.
So it is third down and about 9.5 to go. The ball at the 48-yard line of Cincinnati. Tim Ryan and Fred Dreyer with these two 10-3 teams here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Bengals move into their four-man front. Montana has Cooper open with a one-handed catch. He could go no further as Bo Harris dropped him immediately. But a good effort by Cooper will bring them up short by about a yard at the 40-yard line of Cincinnati. That'll bring Jim Miller in to punt. Fourth and nearly 2 the situation, so Bill Welch, no hesitation, sends Miller in. Mike Fuller will be the deep man for the Bengals. Miller angling, but it bounces into the end zone and will be a touchback. So Cincinnati will be starting from their own 20 following the 40-yard kick by Miller. We have 11:29 remaining in regulation time. San Francisco 14 and the Bengals 3.
You're cutting a ship out of a mountain of steel, and you don't stop until you hear that sound.
It's Miller time. Let's go.
Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller beer. Miller tastes too good to hurry through. When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear.
Miller High Life. America's quality beer since 1855.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer. If you've got the time, Miller's got the beer.
Now we We talked earlier about Anthony Munoz's jersey. It's a very slick material, something like you would see a ski garment. See how slick it is on the back? And there's a corrugated fabric underneath the armpits where they tie down the jersey and make it really, real tight. See how I look like a muscle t-shirt on it? That's for Fred Dean.
Specially designed for Fred Dean. First down for the Bengals from their own 20-yard line. Thompson continues at quarterback. Anderson left with an injured toe. Thompson intended for Isaac Curtis, incomplete. White Hicks on the coverage, number 22. Second and 10 for Cincinnati. Cincinnati needs a victory today to clinch at least a wild card spot in the American Football Conference. They do have a 2-game lead on second place Pittsburgh, and of course 2 more weeks remaining in the schedule. They would like, clearly, to lock it up today, that playoff spot, but they will have 2 weeks more. There's the man that they designed Munoz's jersey for. He's got something unusual on himself.
Yeah, he has a breast protector, a chest plate to keep Munoz's hands off his bruised sternum.
All right, it is second and 10. And Ross, he drops the ball. It's still loose, and the 49ers, Hicks has recovered. And another turnover by the Bengals, who have had a plus margin coming into the game in that department, but today they've turned it over 4 times. Dan Ross made the catch, took the hit, dropped the ball. And the 49ers have control in Bengal territory.
This is the type of thing that's been plaguing these people all day long. Jack Thompson does a good job of finding the open receiver. Ross does a good job of hauling it in, but see from behind, see what Ronnie Lott does? He brings his right arm up inside and pops the ball out. That is the type of play that you don't expect from rookie defensive people like this. And there it is, Dwight Hicks is around the football again. See him pop it out right there? That's something you see from a guy playing 9-10 years, but he is just a great secondary these people have.
That's twice today Lott has forced the fumble. Ross is the injured Bengal player, will return with San Francisco in control.
There's a new Starlet here on Broadway. Introducing the 1982 Toyota Starlet. A Toyota born small to kick the gasoline habit. To kick the gasoline habit with more miles per gallon. More miles per gallon of gasoline than any other Toyota. The 1982 Toyota Starlet. Its mileage will light up your life. Starlet!
If your morning shave has turned into a nightmare, gotcha. Wake up to the exclusive twin-action Norelco Rotatract razor. Inside 3 floating heads, twin-action grips and raises hair up, then razors hair off, closer than ever. For twin blade closeness without a nick or cut, the twin-action Norelco Rotatract razor, quarter rechargeable. Because for close shaves,
there's no action like twin action.
Start your football day with a complete look at all the sports news, college and pro highlights. It's America's most watched pregame show. Sundays, it's the NFL Today.
Well, any doubts anybody had about whether the 49ers would be going all out, having already clinched their division title, have to be dispelled. They've gone with all the starters, and they have the lead in this game. Cooper is dropped by Ross Browner for a loss. Reggie Williams there as well. And a good defensive play by Cincinnati brings up a loss of 3 yards on the play. Second and 13 as Earl Cooper had nowhere to go.
They need not only just to make people lose yardage, they've now got to start doing what San Francisco's doing. They've got to start turning the ball over.
What a game Ronnie Lott has had. An interception. He has forced 2 fumbles. 49ers with 2 fumble recoveries and 2 interceptions. And they have second and 13 in Bengal territory. Montana took Cooper out of the backfield, and he's pulled down from behind by LeClaire. Getting to the 35-yard line, a pickup of about 8 yards will bring up 3rd and 5. Joe Montana has gone the distance at quarterback for the 49ers. Ken Anderson left in the 3rd period after a sack that injured his toe. Jack Thompson came in and is 2 for 6 and 20 yards passing. He's had a couple of drops on him, however. Anderson left the game 11 for 20, 97 yards and 2 interceptions, and they have been rare for Anderson this year. He had 6 coming into the game. 4 down linemen for the Bengals, and 5 men in the secondary on 3rd and 5, and it's complete to the tight end, Ramsden. And they may have stopped him short of the first down. Good defensive work by the Bengals. Harris was there. Williams was there. A lot of people around the ball. Louis Breeden, number 34. See where they spot it. Does appear to be short by about a yard at the 31-yard line. Montana looking over at Bill Walsh on the sideline saying, do we go, coach? We have 9:13 and ticking. In the fourth quarter, a 14-3 lead, and Walsh says, let's keep it moving.
I really like that. I really like his attitude about offense and about this type of a game. He knows he's got these guys on the ropes, and he's trying to punch them out. That's an admirable trait.
High formation. Lead back is Cooper. They give it to Patton. He's got lots of room. Ricky Patton to the 25-yard line. Again, the variety of offense we have seen, Fred. They haven't run out of the eye very much at all today. Maybe 2 or 3 plays. Here's a critical spot, and they come up with a first down.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And anybody in the offense can excel. The emphasis on this offense is everybody getting the football. Here you see Ricky Patton getting a big play. A while ago, it was Charlie Young, and then you have different players making big plays. It's a team that's opportunistic, but yet they are very well coached and disciplined.
Last week, they had 9 different players rushing the football over the course of the game against the Giants. Louis Breeden made the key stop there, but the 49ers are in control. And the pitch out to Cooper on first down. Cooper gets a block from Patton and a big collision with Riley at the 20-yard line, and a pickup of about 6 yards for Earl Cooper. This has been one of his better games of the season. Comes back limping a little bit to the 49er huddle. Cooper came into the game with 233 yards rushing. Has been somewhat of a disappointment, the second-year man from Rice. But he's been running strongly today and doing well outside.
That's one of the things that Coach Walsh didn't know he could do. It was run on the Bengal defense, and he's doing it. It's one of the reasons they're ahead today.
Riley Young back in at tight end number 86, making the strong side right. Schumann flanked out wide to the right. Cooper has 45 yards rushing today, and he's got another bunch right here. Cooper dragging tacklers inside the 5. Earl Cooper behind the blocking of Ayers and Oddick on the left side. Now you're the defensive end, Fred. What happened there? They were running right where you usually are.
Well, I'll tell you something. If you're over there where Ross Browner is and Glenn Cameron and Reggie Williams, you know for a fact the people blocking you are very, very good also. You've got to be able to get off of blocks when you get blocked. It's okay to get blocked, but you've got to be able to get off of those blocks and get to the ball carrier, especially down here because there's not a lot of room to run.
Bart Starr's Green Bay Packers are up 28-17 over Detroit late in the fourth quarter. The Niners are driving here in Cincinnati. Ricky Patton close to the goal line, but stopped just short. Number 32, Ricky Patton, picked up from the Green Bay Packers as a free agent, was drafted originally by Atlanta in 1978. It is right on the goal line. They need about a half a yard to produce what should be the clinching touchdown with 6:50 remaining and counting here in the fourth quarter. Cameron comes back into the lineup. They set up the goal line defense. Bill Ring is in the ball game with Johnny Davis, the 2 muscle men in the short yardage goal line situations at running back for San Francisco. But Montana dives in for the San Francisco touchdown. Joe Montana running behind Randy Cross and Fred Quillen, and Montana leaps out to spike the ball. So Montana enjoying himself this afternoon and getting in on his receiver's act.
Montana thought yesterday in the hotel when I talked to him, he thought they could beat these people. And I'll tell you, he's very, very opportunistic as well as optimistic, and he reflects that man's ideals right there.
Bill Walsh, who has had a hand in the career of 2 outstanding quarterbacks playing in this game today, Kenny Anderson and now Joe Montana. And he has shown us some offensive genius this afternoon. Wersching will attempt the point after. It is good. And so the 49ers appear to have the Bengals down and out, but we've got 6:28 to go with the score. San Francisco 21, the Cincinnati Bengals 3.
Before I swing for the bleachers seaties, I get the Edie's for my Wheaties.
Before I slam my gorilla donkeys, I get the Edie's for my Wheaties.
The Edie's for Wheaties. That undeniable, irresistible urge for the crispy, crunchy, whole wheat taste of the breakfast of champions.
Before I put on my little cleaties, I get the Edie's for my Wheaties.
Part of your good breakfast.
Good service isn't giving people what they expect. No, it's giving them more than they expect. Avis knows that. So when you make a reservation, Avis makes a commitment, and they honor it.
Morgan?
See, even if you're 6 hours late, now you might be willing to pay a little more for this service, but at Avis you don't have to. Trying harder is still the best way to do business.
Tim Ryan and Fred Dreyer back here at Cincinnati's Riverfront Stadium, where the 49ers used up 4:44 on the clock, going in for the touchdown by Joe Montana from a yard out to make the score 21-3.
Pittsburgh Steelers just did a backflip out there in Oakland. They're watching the game, no doubt.
Yes, if the 49ers win, it just stalls off the Bengals' opportunity to clinch a spot. Taken by David Verser right at the 1-yard line. Verser, the number 1 pick, is a good return man for them, and he gets it up close to the 30-yard line. Still some hitting going on out there. That's the spirit you like to see. And so the Bengals will see what they can get going here with 6:17 to play in the 4th period. Green Bay out in front of Detroit 28-17. And the Bart Starr Packers have been coming alive. A victory today would put them at 7-7. Detroit would fall to 7-7. Next week, Green Bay will be at New Orleans. The Saints are getting walloped by St. Louis. We'll give you that score in a moment. Look at this. The Bears hanging in there. Now back ahead of Minnesota 10-7 in the 4th period. Bears defense has been solid last few weeks. St. Louis leads New Orleans 30-3 in the 4th quarter. First down for the Bengals. Thompson still at quarterback. He's got time. He's got Collinsworth, and it's intercepted, or close to it. It is intercepted. Eric Wright. And the play is whistled dead, but Eric Wright stepping in front of Collinsworth, and another of the San Francisco rookie defenders comes up with an intercept.
Boy, are they impressive as a group of defensive backs. I can't get it out of my mind that they're only rookies back there. The oldest guy is Dwight Hicks. He's in his 3rd year out of Michigan.
Eric Wright picked off his 3rd interception of the season. Lott earlier had his 7th. And it has been all San Francisco defensively. We'll return to Cincinnati with the score, 21-3.
He was as practical as any of us, but he hid it well. Behind a certain flair and style of living. Even the car he drove, a 1982 Cutlass Supreme. An Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. To the casual observer, it was the epitome of style, offering no visible clue as to how practical the man who owned it really was. You see, he knew. Even today, there's still room to do it with style.
Control 6 to base. Looks like this big old hole in the ground's going to be safe for the night. Over.
Then come on home, Pete. It's Miller time.
Miller time. Time to appreciate the difference between a good beer
when it's time to relax
and a great beer.
One beer stands clear.
Miller High Life.
You got the time. We got the beer. Come Miller time. We got the beer.
They upset the Cowboys, made turkey of the Chiefs on Thanksgiving. Saturday, the Detroit Lions face the Minnesota Vikings in a fight for the playoffs, starting at 3:30 Eastern with the NFL Today, Saturday on CBS.
Next Saturday, a CBS NFL telecast, Minnesota at Detroit, and Minnesota, of course, still very much in the thick of it in the Central Division. The Vikings losing today to the Bears at the moment. and Detroit losing to Green Bay, so that becomes a very key battle. Likewise, the Packers down at New Orleans on Sunday. The early game's on CBS, and Fred and I will be in New Orleans for that one, and the Giants at St. Louis. The Giants hanging in there against the Rams today, so it looks like everything's going to go right down to the wire in this NFL season before all of the playoff teams are determined. Meanwhile, yet another interception by the San Francisco 49ers, and Ken Anderson is heading to the locker room as the 49ers on first down have Guy Benjamin at quarterback now, and they have the game very much in control. Give to Johnny Davis, who picked up about a yard on the play. Let's call it 2 and make it 2nd and 8.
Ken Anderson is going off the field now. He won't be back today, of course, but what they got to do now is get him well for the next 2 weeks. It looks like they may lose today, and they're going to need him for the next 2 weeks. One of them is against Pittsburgh.
They didn't seem to be giving any thought of getting him back into this game once he came out with the toe injury, and of course we hope, and all Bengals fans hope, that it's not serious at all. This is Ricky Patton. He is stopped at the 45-yard line of the Bengals. Bo Harris, number 53, the linebacker on the hit. Will bring up 3rd down after a gain of about a yard, 3rd and 7. 5:17 and ticking. Guy Benjamin, the Stanford quarterback, is at the controls of the 49ers. 4 years out of Stanford, acquired in a deal with the New Orleans Saints. And Philadelphia at Dallas next week in our doubleheader game. That is a big one in the NFC East. Or Chicago at Oakland, depending on what part of the country you're in. Bears at the Oakland Raiders. Check your local listings for those telecast times. Reach out now to Johnny Davis. Davis gets a couple to bring up 4th down. Gary Burley on the tackle. Forrest Gregg looking on from the sidelines, not too happy with today's performance, but what a season his Bengal team is having.
You're right, Tim, and the one thing he told me yesterday was he wanted the guys to play well and go out there and do the things they do best. They tried to do the things they did best today, but their own mistakes hurt them. They're a very well-coached and disciplined football team, and they got to get it together next week.
Miller will come in to punt for the 49ers. Fuller, the lone safety, back at the 10-yard line. Final score in from St. Louis. The Cardinals walloped the Saints 30-3 today. St. Louis now moves to 7-7 in the Eastern Division of the NFC. And if the Giants hang on to beat the Rams, they would each be 7-7, and both teams still in the wild card picture. Joe Montana left the ball game 23 of 36 for 187 yards and 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. The delay of game will be assessed
number
against
3,
San Francisco. Benjamin did not throw a pass in his series. He's thrown only 3 times this season for the 49ers. It has been all Joe Montana in this glory year of the division title. Miller now standing at his own 39 with 3:45 on the clock. Fuller lets it go behind him. And it gets into the end zone with Bill Ring in futile pursuit. And so the Bengals will start from their own 20-yard line. If the 49ers win today, it appears they will, and that would clinch a home divisional playoff game January 2nd or 3rd. We want to advise 49er fans that tickets will go on sale December 28th at Candlestick Park. They will not be on sale tomorrow morning. They won't go on sale till the 28th of December if the 49ers hang on to win here, meaning that they would have a home divisional playoff game on either January 2nd or 3rd. So the Bengals, it appears, will not clinch their playoff today, but they've got 2 more weeks to do it. Thompson to Pete Johnson. Johnson is met by Lynn Thomas at the 25-yard line, and Keena Turner there as well. Well, when the football action has been completed today, stay with us on CBS. It starts with 60 Minutes tonight, then it's Archie Bunker's Place, one day at a time. Stay tuned for Alice and the Jeffersons, Trapper John M.D., all tonight on CBS. Oh, what a catch by Kreider. Steve Kreider from Thompson, a diving catch, picks made the stop at the 40-yard line, and a brilliant grab by the third-year man from Lehigh. Hurry-up offense for Cincinnati with 2:51 and counting. Thompson, the Kreider wide open on a short pattern, gets to midfield. Pulled down from behind by Lim Thomas, the nickelback.
The 49ers have their nickel defense in there, so anything underneath the defense would probably be open. You see Kreider just goes right behind the linebackers to the open area to catch the ball. Most of the short passing games should work now that they're in a nickel situation.
Pete Johnson takes one out of the backfield as we're back live and picked up the first down yardage to the 46-yard line, where Thomas again made the tackle. Lim Thomas, yet another of the rookies in that secondary, comes in as the nickelback from Pittsburgh. Thompson split momentarily, but he's still in control, and it's intended there for the tight end Ross, but incomplete. Thompson under pressure was off the mark. Ronnie Lott on the coverage. That'll stop the clock at 1:59, and that will sound the 2-minute warning here in Cincinnati. And so that's what we have remaining, with the 49ers very much in control, 21-3.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes. 1978, John Madden's Raiders trail the Chargers by 6 with time for only one more play. Ken Stabler drops back. He's blitzed from the right. In what has become known as the Holy Roller, he fumbles the ball forward. It is miraculously bobbled and bounced into the end zone, where Dave Casper falls on it for a touchdown. The Raiders win 21-20 on the game's final play.
Alcoa can't wait.
Since time began, nature has demonstrated the wisdom of recycling. In rain that falls to the earth, travels to the sea, and rises to the clouds again. Now, man must learn to recycle too. At Alcoa, we've already started by initiating programs that are saving billions of aluminum cans every year. Raw materials and energy too. Recycling. We're simply doing what nature has always done.
We can't wait for tomorrow. Alcoa can't wait.
Tim Ryan and Fred Dreyer back here in Cincinnati. You see the score from Green Bay, where the Pack is doing it to the Lions, 31-17. Meanwhile, Miami has a final score of 24-14 over New England today. Thompson, in relief of the injured Ken Anderson, 7 of 13 for 71 yards. Some happy 49ers. That's Joe Montana with the jacket on. His father is in attendance here today.
Why isn't no one said hi, Dad?
That's a fair question. 2nd and 10 for the Bengals. Kreider. There's a motion and now lines up outside right. Thompson. Complete to the tight end M.L. Harris, and he has a first down for Cincinnati. As they will not roll over here, they have first down at the 35 with 1:45 on the clock. Wright made the tackle. Washington has upset the Eagles 15-13. Philadelphia falls to 9-5, and the Redskins win their 6th game. Intended for Harris, and what a rap he took from Ronnie Lott, and could not hold on. Ouch. Boy, that Lott is some kind of a defensive back.
You know, Ronnie Lott did a good thing there. He hit him up high. He could have hit him low, which would have really hurt his back, but he didn't. He's very, it sounds funny, he's very conscientious about hitting him up high.
Ronnie Lott has done about everything a defensive back is supposed to do today. He has an interception. He forced 2 fumbles. He's been just a leech on coverage. And anybody that's been anywhere near him, he has made them pay the price with heavy, clean hits. 2nd and 10 for the Bengals. Kreider to the right. Mercer to the left. Jack Thompson just gets it away. He's got Kreider open. And he makes the catch with Lott finally making a minor mistake. He did not cover Kreider well enough. Lott made the tackle at the 15-yard line. 1:16 to go. And the Bengals want to score another touchdown. I like that spirit. They're working hard at it. Hurry-up offense. Jack Thompson determined. He hits Kreider again. And the ball pops loose, and Dwight Hicks has picked it off. What a tackle by Mercer on Hicks as he tried to turn it upfield. Well, these amazing youngsters in the San Francisco secondary. Thompson was doing a good job there. So was Kreider. Kreider made the catch. The ball pops loose. Hicks comes up with it. And it's all over for the Bengals today.
Well, like you said earlier, you know, when everything goes right for you, it goes right. When it goes wrong, it goes wrong. This looks like a touchdown here. The ball is popped out because number 27, Williamson, puts his head right where he should put it. Now, you know you're doing a real good job when you can afford to let your buddy spike the ball for you.
10 interceptions on the season for Dwight Hicks. The old man in that secondary at age 25. From the end zone, Johnny Davis gets about a yard with 51 seconds, a timeout called by the Bengals. They're not going to go easily here today. They're going to try and get that ball back. 6 turnovers for Cincinnati, and you know the post-game quotes will be, you can't win with 6 turnovers.
You sure can. You know, it's too bad, too. The 49ers really played well today, and the people probably didn't expect them to play very well, coming off a clinching victory over the Giants last week. But I'll tell you what, the Bengals got to really feel bad. Not only have they lost the game, they didn't play well in losing.
All right, we'd like to thank these gentlemen responsible for our football coverage. Terry O'Neill, executive producer. Charles H. Milton III, our senior producer. Here at the site, David Dinkins, Jr., producing our game telecast today, directed by John McDonough. And these gentlemen, associate producer Mitch Goldstein, field technical manager Jesse Renier, and field technical supervisor Norm Broussard. Outstanding technical staff, many of them from Los Angeles today. Jay Fairman, Mike Medilovich, and all of the great guys out here freezing outside. The cameramen on a chilly afternoon, but it could get worse, gentlemen, before the season is over. There's Bill Welch. He looks warm on the sideline. Benjamin, the quarterback. Davis out over the 5-yard line. 46 seconds and counting. And again, the Bengals take another timeout. 6 turnovers, pretty much the story of the game. Fred Dreyer talking about this San Francisco aggressive defense having so much to do with those turnovers. And certainly they have to be very happy with their effort today. Any doubts about how they would approach this game were dispelled early on.
Bill Walsh said yesterday in the lobby after talking about his homecoming here that he thought that his secondary and his defense was going to be the toughest one that Bengals have faced today, up to this point. And he was right. His team has played very, very well.
Well, he had been lauding the Cincinnati Bengals all week long, saying that they were a great football team and probably the best team in the American Football Conference, and I'm sure that he meant that because these Bengals are still in command in the AFC Central Division. This just happened to be one of those days when things did not go well for them, and they ran into this young, confident bunch from San Francisco.
You put a camera on the sideline, look at these hands. They know where the cameras are. Here's Randy Cross, a great guard. He was a center, now he's a guard. There's Chuck Studley here in the foreground. He's the guy that's, along with Jack Reynolds, kind of constructed the defense for him.
Chuck, also another alumnus of the Bengals organization. He was here when Walsh was here. And there is the throwing Samoan Jack Thompson, who did a good job on that last drive. Really a victim of a tough break. Oliver Davis in on the corner for Ken Riley in these final seconds. Chicago hung on to defeat Minnesota 10-9. And blasting out from the 5-yard line, Bill Ring with a good hard running has a 49er first down with 30 seconds and counting. We wind down here at Cincinnati's Riverfront Stadium. So Chicago wins their 4th game and Minnesota falls to 7-7. That NFC Central is going to be a maze right down to the final game. A happy Bill Walsh. His team will advance.
If the Bengals prowling, lean and angry, here he comes a prowling, lean. If the Bengals prowling, lean and angry, here he comes a prowling, lean. If the Bengals prowling, lean and angry, here he comes a prowling, lean. If the Bengals prowling, lean and angry, here he comes a prowling, lean. If the Bengals prowling, lean and angry, here he comes a prowling, lean. If the Bengals prowling.